evening, members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing great. Uh, I'm your host, Abe Cias. Soren Cias in the house. For those that tune in on Restream, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Tonight, we're going to be talking about some of the military encounters that I had while I was serving the United States Army. I was in for 10 years, so I witnessed a lot of things while I was in the military, and that's what we'll be talking about tonight. This is a special live. Normally, I don't do lives on Saturdays, but we did not do nothing today, so let me share out this live feed, brothers and sisters. Share this live feed out real quick. There we are. We're all shared out, brothers and sisters. Whoever's here tuning in. Who do we got here? Mark. How you doing, brother Mark? Hope you're doing great. As for me, I'm doing good, brother. I'm just here chilling. I normally hadn't done a live in a long time. Well, I try not to do lives on Saturdays. It's where we normally go out, and me and my wife go out and have a little bit of fun. But the weather's been kind of iffy, so we just decided to relax today. So I'm making this special live here. I was in the military 10 years, from 1989 to 1999. I did witness a lot of things while I was in the military. Some things you can really talk about it too much, but it is what it is. I witnessed things, you could say, military made, up in California, up in the mountains where I used to train in Fort Irwin. I witnessed a lot of things out there dealing with shapeshifter skinwalkers up in the mountains in California and Fort Irwin. I witnessed shapeshifter skinwalker activity out there, and of course spirits that were out there also. That's where we used to go train. At one point in time, we used to go train there, I think 2 times a year. We used to train during the summer and the winter. I think it was 2 times or 3 times a year. At one point in time, we used to go over there a lot. That's where we used to go train. Of course, on Fort Hood, we have all the ranges we would go to, but out there, it's bigger, a bigger space, and we'll go train out there. And in California, it's one of those. The Fort Irwin, California, is one of those places that it's like you have a week to get all your equipment. Then you spend 2 weeks training. I mean, and it's a constant training. Like you hardly get any sleep. Then you come back and you have a week to work on the tanks, to turn them in back to when you sign them out, turn them back in. But normally that takes a lot of work, a lot of long hours of work, which they tell you they want the tank a certain way, even though you didn't get it in that condition. They want it in a better condition that you got it. before you turn it in. So with that kind of training that we used to do over there, there's been a lot of soldiers that have actually um, passed away out there doing the rigorous training that we would do. A lot of sleep deprivation where you lose sleep. You already know what happens when you lose sleep and you're not sleeping properly. You start seeing things, right? When you're not sleeping properly, you start seeing things. It's kind of like you're being caught up within reality and the dream state. So you start seeing things where you're not sleeping because of the sleep deprivation. I'm talking about the when we were trained, it's like 19 hours of the training or 18 hours is training. If you get 2 hours of sleep or 2 hours and a half of sleep, you're lucky. And there's times that it wasn't like that. There's times that we wouldn't sleep for like 2 or 3 days, when we'll be training. And that's where the accidents happen, where people are tired and their brain shuts down. They're not thinking properly, and they start making mistakes. They start forgetting about the safety precautions. You have live ammo out there, or training with live ammo. People forget to do the proper ground grinding and stuff like that. And when you're tired, that's when the accidents happen, which we've lost a lot of. It wasn't people dying out there. It was people getting in accidents or losing limbs, because they're not paying attention. The military, it's not enough for everybody. Is one of those jobs that depends on what MOS you are. Uh, you got to be ready to be able to do that job. Luckily, I was young at that time when I was able to do that, but hats down to those that stay in for 20 years or more. I got a couple of friends that stayed that retired. One retired as a first sergeant. The other retired as a sergeant major. I only did 10 because of physical ailments that I had that I couldn't perform my duties as a tanker no more. So I've been taking ever since I got out. I've been on the meds that they gave me. They took me off the meds, then they put me back on the meds when I went to the VA. So yeah, and mine had to do with an accident out there in California, in Fort Owens, California, where I flew out of a tank. We was doing it was an offensive mission during the day, and I was a loader at the time, and the driver switched out with the gunner because the gunner was fixing the ETS. When he went back to the rear, he was going to leave the military, and he wanted to drive the tank one more time. So he's driving the tank, and I'm facing to the rear. And the only thing I hear is "Hold on," but by then it's too late. He didn't see the we call it a wadi, which is a natural crack in the earth. It was like a 20-foot drop, and our tank went into it. And by the time when we landed, the 240 machine guns almost went up my gut. That it stretched out my skin some, and then I bounced and I hit my head on the breech, and I was knocked out. I don't remember anything, but yeah, I could see how accidents happen out there, brothers and sisters. It's one of those, being in the military, the how we train to be as real as possible. So when we do go into war or combat or in a mission, it's going to be first in nature. The reaction that out of you is going to be first in nature. You're going to react to the situation because you're trained for it. So you're not going to think about it. You're not going to hesitate. You're just going to react to the situation. How you doing, real MMA? And if anybody wants to ask any questions here tonight, about anything, not just military. Like I said, I've seen a lot of things while I was in the military. Uh, I've seen something, no, it was huge. One time I was pulling uh, staff duty. We all our units, all our soldiers were in Bosnia, and I was rear D, and I was patrolling the where all the vehicles are parked. You know, I was patrolling that area to make sure nobody uh, broke into the vehicles or that the vehicles wasn't broken into. You know, so I'm patrolling that area where all the vehicles are from the soldiers that are deployed. And as I was patrolling, I seen something weird. You know, well, it wasn't weird. It was just the size of it. The size of this thing was bigger than me, and it passed like maybe I would say 15 to 20 feet above me, and I seen it fly over me. You know, when people talk about a fruit bat, right? Well, it was something in that nature, like a bat-like figure. But I've never seen a bat that big. That's bigger than us, or it's bigger. It was bigger than me. Just put it that way. I don't know how big the fruit bats are. So I seen it pass right over me. The face looked freaked out, and it was huge. It was massive. And just the only thing I did, you know, because I'm Hispanic, and of course we were supposed to protect ourselves. So I did the sign of the cross when he passed over me. I could see the face and everything. It didn't look like a bat. I've never really seen it. I've seen a fruit bat at the zoo, and this was big. It was huge. You know, when we talk about when I hear the stories of the Nosferatu or vampires, the way the face looked, it looked like a face. It was a mixture, like a face of a person and the face of a bat. You know, that's all I can tell you. That's how it looked, and its wings were widespread, like it was going to land somewhere. Uh, I don't know where it went to. It went to one of the billets. That's all I know. So, you know, I witnessed that, but I was like, I've never seen, you know, of all the time that I've been training in the field, nighttime, daytime, I've never seen something that huge before. This bat was at least as big as it was. It passed over me. I would say around 8 to 9 foot tall, or long. It was very long. Passed right over me. No, I haven't heard. You know, about the weapons. I know that the military has a lot of advanced equipment. Uh, my my brother in arms, that served with me in the military, there was my loader when I went to Operation Desert Storm. He still works for this company, and they're the ones that they supply all the special ops missions, and the equipment that they have is advanced. Just put it that way. Uh, they have tactical tanks that can operate by satellite. They could drop them in a location. They put a grid to where to go, and you know they take care of business. Uh, they can drop them by airplane or cargo airplanes, parachute them down, and they go take care of business. Yeah, they have a lot of advanced equipment. Just put it that way. Yeah. And my brother in arms, he works for this company up in. He's like either like the vice president or president right now of the company that gives the special weapons to the special ops. You know, Navy SEAL special ops. He's the one that supplies them with the machinery, gives them the classes of how to operate them. So yeah, I do have friends in higher places. You know, that friend of mine, he was going to stop by in Austin dropping up some equipment. He wanted to meet up with me, but at the time, I was having problems with my vehicle. But maybe one day I'll meet up with him again. I'm more sure all the things that he does is kind of top secret. But yeah, he deals with all that kind of equipment. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Signals that can be used through satellite. They can cover a grid to send a signal to affect the brainwaves. Uh, that technology I've been knowing ever since Operation Desert Storm, because they use that uh, on us to send a signal, so the soldiers can become different. You could say, a signal where it affects your brain waves and makes you become a different person. When you talk about a super soldier, so the signal can make you become very aggressive, uh, and make you become, you could say, like a weapon. I remember they used a signal on us weren't out there because I noticed the change of a lot of the soldiers, how they were acting. But at the same time, uh, the Gen was out there, So the Gen, if somebody's sending a signal, the Gen's going to see that as an opening. And if that signal is affecting the senses of the individual, uh, which is the sight, the smell, the taste, the hearing, and of course where your privates are, it's affecting those senses, and the djinn is out there. Uh, the djinn can attack because it's in spirit. I don't think those signals can affect the djinn because the djinn is in spirit, or any unclean any spirit or unclean spirit, should I say, that is vibrating in a different frequency, or should I say, yeah, different frequency. That they're still in the spirit can really affect them. It'll affect us because we're the ones that have the senses, right? Because we're still here, so it can affect us. But I've known of this technology because I witnessed it back then, and then they had the signal still on when we came back from Operation Desert Storm, and I seen how some of the soldiers were acting different. People could say, well, they were in combat, maybe, but the scene affected them. The reason I say it wasn't that is because the signal was still, I could hear the signal. My senses are very keen, and the same sound that I was hearing out there, I was hearing it in Germany. And I just kept on, luckily, what I would do, I would meditate and I would pray, uh, to bring my frequency down, right? Form of meditation, which it would make me be different than everybody else. But I seen the people that the signal did affect, and just like they were doing the things that we're doing out there in the front lines, they were doing things in Germany, where they were destroying property, like people's vehicles. People were getting jumped. They were the Americans were even attacking their own people, the other Americans, because the signal was driving them mad, driving them crazy. You know, like the movie The Crazies. Well, imagine a signal that's going to affect you up here that way, and it's gonna be like pure sanity. Like these people are just in a rage. That's what it was, like a rage, And the only thing that this that they're doing is destruction. So if you look into the archives of that, you'll see that a lot of families got affected by this because when like the married people that went back to the families, some people were causing all kinds of chaos and havoc, uh, beating up their wives and just going crazy. People were getting locked up, uh, just all kinds of, and I think that right there affected a lot of the troops. Which a lot of people done passed away from all that. But yeah, the signal still exists. That's all I can tell you. That maybe I'm not supposed to be saying that, but it does exist. The reason I know it exists because I hear it sometimes when they turn on the signal. So I'm able to control the signal with the signal. The what it's trying to do, I'm able to control it because I'm walking this earth with a heavenly love foundation. I'm more relaxed than when I was then. I'm different, so I'm able to try to drop my spiritual frequency to a different level, so the frequency won't affect me. That's what it basically it is. It's a frequency, like a signal. It's very annoying, and once it hits you, man, and it's locked on you, you're gonna have to change your frequency. Meditate, go into prayer, do something to get out of the range of the signal. Oh yeah, I get the nosebleeds all the time. Uh, but you see, I did have surgery on my nose, but yeah, they do exist. It's still this day because I hear them. I think some of they're using the towers, the 5G towers to distribute the frequency. I think that the frequency was on during the COVID, so a lot of things that were happening during the COVID, even during the riots, where people were rioting, the signal was on, man, and you've seen how it affected people. And what's sad about it, it's our own government, right? Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this, right? But what the hell? It's our own government using those signals to affect our own people. That's why you hear about all these crazy things happen. You're like, oh, this world is going crazy. The demons are running wild and all this, but at the same time, there's many things that are running wild. If they were trying to eliminate as many people as possible during that virus by any means necessary. And trust me, this signal was in full effect during the COVID. Yeah, there's many things that they implemented to downsize. That's what they call it in the military, downsize, which would be to eliminate mankind, uh, eliminate the population of the U.S. Yeah, there's the signal that they can use. Yeah, it'll make people fight each other, even if they're friends or family. It affects them that way. Different frequencies, certain nanotechnology, uh, that they put the nanotechnology in the shots and give you the shots, and you think that they're just giving you a shot or they're just drawing blood. They're sticking stuff in your system because they're trying to track everybody down to wherever they're at. Just all kinds of things that they're using. I know they used to do all kinds of we were in the military and they give us shots. They give us experimental shots that we don't even know what we're taking. When I was in the military, DNA of all kinds of things. DNA of a shark, DNA of a shark, to my understanding. Something, some kind of DNA of something that they try to put in our bodies when they give us the shots before winter combat. I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. The tinnitus, I have it sometimes where I have the ringing of the ears and stuff like that. But no, this one thing, brothers and sisters, when because this technology they've been having it for a very long time, and they've been using it. Just people don't know they've been using it. What happens when, like me, I'm my senses, I can sense things like this because I've heard it before. So after a while hearing it all the time, you become immune to it, but you know that it's coming from somewhere. And I'm thinking that I'm able to track it down. If somebody is placing the signal, sending it, and they're on land, I'd be able to track them down where the signal's coming from. But if the signal is coming from satellites or drones, then that's a whole different scenario right there. And you got out in '99, so the technology in the military is way different now than when I was in. You know, so I know that they do have advanced technology because, like I said, my brother in arms, that's what he does. I don't know. I know about that real MMA, about that kind of technology, that kind of frequency that's going to make somebody drop and vomit blood. Uh, but I do know that it can affect you in different ways. Yeah, and there could be other things also that some of the soldiers were dropping. You got to remember spiritual warfare. That's what it sounds like to me right there. Soldiers dropping down to their knees and vomiting blood. Uh, Unclean spirits can enter a person's body and make it. And if the opening's there, it can cause those things. Unclean spirits, vomit blood. Uh, Another thing that can cause that too will be chemicals, which if could they could have dropped chemicals on them. If they were dropping to their knees and vomiting blood, there could have been like a nerve agent that they might have used, a chemical nerve agent, a blood agent that could have been used to to make the soldiers ill. Is another thing. You got nerve agent, you got blood agent, and what's the other one? There's like three of them that I know of that they can use. And blister agent. So I don't think it was a blister agent. I'm thinking more of a blood agent or nerve agent that they could have used on them. That the soldiers could have that kind of side effect. 1686 Panda. I mean, Kraken. Kraken. Bye. I'm gonna place a video for y'all real quick. Uh, Here's one that I'm gonna place here for y'all. You know this DDN. That's what they do. They do vibrate in freaking different frequencies. So I'm gonna play this video for y'all. See if you're able to see what's in the video. And I'll be right back, brothers and sisters. I got to do something. I'll be right back. Uh, there you go. Let me place that video right there, or I can make it a solo video.
I wanna see. I can see. Here's the B. I heard movement right here beside me. It's close. I just heard it, so I'm keeping the camera facing this way. Uh, I'm sensing it. Something here, right behind me. This is where I heard the movement last time. Uh, this is how close it was. 1 foot away from me. Look, I wanna see. I can see. Here's the B. I heard movement right here beside me. It's close. I just heard it, so I'm keeping the camera facing this way.
I'm
I'm sensing it. Something here, right behind me. This is where I heard the movement last time. Uh, this is how close it was. 1 foot away from me. Look, I wanna see. I can see. Here's the B. I heard movement right here beside me. It's close. I just heard it, so I'm keeping the camera facing this way. Uh, I'm sensing it. Something here, right behind me. This is where I heard the movement last time. Uh, this is how close it was. 1 foot away from me. Look, I wanna see. I can see. Here's the B. I heard movement right here beside me. It's close. I just heard it, so I'm keeping the camera facing this way. Uh, I'm sensing it. Something here, right behind me. This is where I heard the movement last time. Uh, this is how close it was. 1 foot away from me. Look, I wanna see. I can see. Here's the B. I heard movement right here beside me. It's close. I just heard it, so I'm keeping the camera facing this way. Uh, I'm sensing it. Something here, right behind me. This is where I heard the movement last time. Uh, this is how close it was. 1 foot away from me. Look, uh,
There's something right there, right beside me, brothers and sisters, on the photo. I'll pause it in a moment. I'll get with you in a moment, brothers and sisters. Alrighty. I am back, y'all. I'm back. Sorry about that. I was doing something real quick. Yeah, I stopped the sound, brother and sisters, because I didn't want it to repeat itself of what it was saying. So I'm back now. Sorry about that. I don't know how many viewers I have right now or anything like that. I've been having problems with Restream. I don't know what's going on. Where it's not. I don't know if it's sharing properly to the members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters or what. But I know Saturdays people are out and about doing things. So let me go on with the show. And sorry about that. So yes, of this equipment that they can use to affect the people in the front lines. I've witnessed it. Luckily, man, when you have Jesus Christ on your side, you can break those frequencies or anything that's man made. The Heavenly Father, man made or spiritual. The Heavenly Father can overcome that. In which I was able to break the signal numerous times already. Just like I'm able to break the signal, I'm able to break the signal, or should I say the I'm not gonna say frequency. I'll just say the spiritual nature of the DDN or the Legion or anything of that nature that I've been able to break up what they're trying to do spiritually through the Heavenly Love Foundation and through Jesus Christ. That I've been able to overcome it. Uh, Now that right there, when they attack, yeah, your thoughts as they enter your vessel. If you have a spiritual opening, they try to take control of your mind, right? The way you're thinking, trying to find an opening in that nature, and if it can find an opening and control it that way, it's going to use that opening to do whatever it needs to do. That's why it's important to have the relationship with Jesus Christ, to understand that if there's bad thoughts coming into your mind or you're hearing voices of some sort, well, it's not the and what's being shown to you or what's being sent to you is not good. You should train yourself spiritually to be able to tie bind and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. But we see something that doesn't look right, uh, in a different frequency, translucent, even if it takes a physical manifestation, or it's in a manifestation of a soldier, but then you can say it's not a soldier because you're able to see through it, and it's a demon pretending to be a soldier or whatever the case. I've seen these things too in the military where, something's infiltrating and pretending to be because they have those abilities to manifest and to look that way. Uh, so that's why you put those things to a test. And I've known the way you put them to the spiritual test is to tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. When you tie, bind, and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, you're able to break through their spiritual, how should I say, I'm not going to say cloak. You're able to break through the spiritual manifestation, break through it, because you're using the heavenly love foundation. So as you break through it, two things are going to happen. Either it's going to disappear in front of you, or it's going to flee. And that's what I've noticed, that either they disappear or they flee when you put the spirit to the test, or the manifestation, or the translucent thing that you're seeing, because they're vibrating in a different vibration. It can be translucent. It might show itself to you. It can pretend you might hear a disembodied voice, of a woman, of a child, or somebody you might know. That even what you're hearing, anything that affects your senses, put that to a spiritual test. Tie, bind, and rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name through the sign of the cross to protect yourself. And that's how you're able to overcome it, is through Jesus Christ. And that right there, brothers and sisters, that right there is something that nobody is talking about. Nobody's really saying nothing to anybody about it, how to defend yourself from it. I know that's the case because, like I said, I used to be in the military. It's one thing when you're a soldier, you got to learn how to overcome and adapt, right? And one thing that I've always had with me is my faith. When you go to basic training, they don't want you to have your faith. Their job is to turn you to a soldier, in which if they say you jump, you're going to say how high, right? But my faith has always been with me. It never left me, even when I went to basic training. So I know, because I put it to the spiritual test. When I was in the military, when I dealt with the djinn, I put the djinn to the spiritual test, and I prayed against it. It took off. Well, the shadow figures that I would see out there, which were the djinn, they would take off when I start praying against them. The djinn don't like people of faith. You already know that the Muslims don't like Christianity. They don't like people that believe in Jesus Christ. What do you think they don't like them? Do you really think they don't like them because they believe in Allah, or it's about the religion? Do they think that the religion is the right religion? No, it's because a lot of those people out there do have negative attachments on them of the djinn. That's why they dislike people that believe in Jesus Christ, because we don't have to fight with swords. We fight spiritually through Jesus Christ, and we could overcome an army through prayer. How do I know? Because we overcame the Medina Republican Guard in combat when we prayed for all the people that were in the front lines. We prayed together. We prayed to Jesus Christ to protect us, to guide us, to protect us through whatever was going to happen. Yes, in the battlefield, there's a lot of things that are out there at stake. You got out there, I've seen the djinn. I've seen some Grim Reapers. I believe there were some hellhounds out there, other principalities, demons, because there's in war, there's souls that are lost, right? People die out there. So you're going to have all this activity. If I would have, my son blessed me with one of those, what do you call it? Things you can feel frequencies. If I had one of those out there where I was at in the front line, man, they would have been going crazy because all that was there. You could hear all kinds of different kinds of growlings, and I don't think it was just dogs out there. There was other things out there. I mean, I don't know what was coming out of the sand at nighttime. You know, there is night predators that come out. So only God knows what was out there. But I know that one thing that I did is I would stay prayed up, and it was pitch black. I'm talking about you couldn't see your hands. If you place your hand like this, you couldn't see your hand out there in the front lines. Let me see something else here real quick. The reason you couldn't see your hand is because it's pitch black. I don't know if anybody's been in the desert before or in a desert environment, uh, but the night is very, very dark, very pitch black. That you have to wear night visions, just to be able to see what's around you. There could be something standing beside you, and you don't know because the person that has a night vision, they'll be able to touch you, right? Imagine somebody just tapping you in the shoulder. You're out there, you can't see because you don't got no night vision, and you react to the hand that's touching you, and you flip them over or whatever, thinking it's the enemy, and they'll be like, "Whoa, it's me, it's me. I'm just trying to wake you up for guard." You know what I'm saying? So you can't see because you're blinded. You know, the tanks back then, we only had one night vision for each tank, and we're 4-man crew, and it's not like every soldier had a night vision. I don't know how it is now, but back then we only had one night vision. Plus, of course, a tank has nuclear. I mean, it has uh, thermal capabilities that we can see through the gunner. The gunner can see, and the TC can see. So we can use that also. But yeah, imagine hearing noises out there, something growling, and it doesn't sound like a dog. You could say something roaring that sounds like a lion. I don't know if there's any desert lions or desert panthers, but there was something definitely out there that was making some weird sounds at nighttime in the front lines. All kinds of activity. And if anybody's got any questions for me, man, uh, you're more than welcome to ask me anything. I'm gonna drop a link there if anybody wants to jump on. You know, while I'll talk a little bit more about this. Okay. You know how certain people call themselves boots on the ground? They don't know what boots on the ground is. Uh, uh, Recon One, that means you're locked and loaded. You're ready to go. You're ready. You know, you got all your weapons locked and loaded. You're ready to fight. That's what Recon One stands for. I got the Recon One, and of course it says Battle Hard down there. Recon One. Let me show you a picture of the shirt so y'all can see what I'm talking about. There you go. Recon One Battle Hard. Honestly, Sister Joanne, I don't know if I know I seen something out there back in like 98, 99, before I got out of the military, of something having some kind of cloak, and it was the equipment. It has different filters, I guess, to disguise itself or blend in with the territory. So it's got different pixels that it can blend in. But the equipment I seen, it was somebody that had it. It had a malfunction. One of the wire, if it had wiring on it, it was a malfunction. You could see a spark on it, and I seen it because we are going down a tank trail. Me and my driver were coming from Clabber Creek, and somebody crossed our path, but they were very tall, almost as higher than the gun tube, and they passed right in front of us. I don't think that was a soldier, honestly. I think it was. If there is something that's from another planet that has is pixelated that way, it's advanced technology. As tall as it was, I would say, when people talk about aliens, I would say more of reptilian. I would say more reptilian. But you see, reptilians, if there were reptilians, they don't have to wear that kind of cloak, right? That they wouldn't have a spark or malfunction or on their cloak. Because a reptilian, if the reptilians, or when people talk about Dragos, they talk about Dragos and reptilians, snakes, whatever, that they will have some kind of camouflage of their own. That they wouldn't have to use that kind of technology to blend in within the environment. But whatever that was very tall, and it did have like a cloaking device that its whole figure, its whole shape was short circuiting. And when it passed in front of the tank, it uh it was showing different pixelations, like moving real fast. But it was just the silhouette of it that passed in front of our tank. I don't know if I mean I'm more sure some equipment like that exists, like a form of camouflage. Uh, but civilians already have that kind of material, Sister Joanne. When we talk about there's BDUs, there's face paint you can put on, there's equipment that can blend in with the habitat, with the environment within the woods that they can blend in, and you wouldn't even know that they're there. They can blend in with the grass, with a gray, with grass that's color light brown. They can blend in with all colors. There, which that is a form of cloaking, which is being camouflaged. No, I think they when they caught that guy, it was they was already there. They were just waiting to get the order to apprehend him. They had already There was already on that land. The special teams was already there to apprehend them. They already know what they were going to do, what the game plan was, and everything. They had been already surveilling them probably for months. You know, they were just waiting for the orders to do what they need to do. Technology, the training. They have to do the training to be able to do what they did. In which probably the guy freaked out because they caught him so fast. No, and my hat's off to all those individuals that do missions like that. That's a simple mission, you know. I mean, anything can happen in a mission, right? I mean, that's capturing two people they had some kind of security or some kind of army around them, but they wasn't ready for our advanced army, right? This is what we do. The U.S. Well, was Redcon 1, we can go at any given time to any mission. I know I'm not in the military no more. I still work out. I still have the mentality, once a soldier, always a soldier. I will always have the mentality of never giving up, not surrendering, never give up. I think I'm doing pretty good for my age. I'm trying to stay optimistic, doing my workouts, staying focused, doing the shows that I do here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Oh yeah, I was in the Battle of Medina Ridge, which is a lot more dangerous than going apprehending two people. That's why I got so many awards of where I've been in the front lines. We fought Saddam Hussein's Medina Republican Guard, the elite Medina. They were called the elite. That they were the best of the best. They were supposedly at one time the best out of all the armies of the world. That they were the best. That they were number one. I think Russia tried to go in there one time, and the Medina Republican Guard kicked their butts, right? But then they ran into somebody that was a lot stronger. But I leave that to the Heavenly Father, because we prayed to Him. But yeah, that's why the war finished real fast. Our front line overcame the Medina and all the other guards that were with the Medina. They were back and back on the other waves. We overcame like 3 or 4 of them. Our front lines. That's how good we were. But that was a long time ago, right? Long time ago. That's why when I see people that try to come me in a negative way and stuff, I just like, these people don't know. They're clueless of who I am. They're clueless of where I've been, and they're clueless of the people that I still know, that are my brother in arms, are still here amongst the living. They just don't know the connections I have with my brother in arms. So that's why I try not to focus on people that are clueless, people that don't know their left and right. They try to target me a certain way. I mean, that's all news to me. These people, they're irrelevant. They were irrelevant then. They're irrelevant now, and they will be relevant in the future. That's how I see it as. I'm just trying to do my show here, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. And of course, some people get upset because they can't have their way. They can have their way. They can have their. Some people want to be manipulative, so they like playing games. Like, for example, he said this, she said this, or he's making fun of me and this and that because of what I believe in and all this crap. If you don't like what I'm saying here, you don't have to tune in to Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I'm just speaking my truths, my experiences. So when you're trying to make something that I say a part of you when it has nothing to do with you, then you just kind of like a drama queen. And that's what I've seen. That's what I've happened, that I try not to say too many things because I don't want to offend anybody, but That's part of the show. I'd rather speak in truth than lie to people. I would rather speak my truths than lie to anybody. Oh yeah, that's why I'm just trying to stay. I don't know how much longer, honestly. I want to be doing all this, uh, but for right now, I am, because eventually, I know the Heavenly Father is going to guide me to do other things. But for right now, I will continue to do spiritual encrypted encounters. Uh, for how long, I do not know. But the point of me doing this show, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, is to bring spiritual awareness of the things that are run as a spirit. Because we know the things that can harm us in the flesh, right? At the same time, there's things that are in the spirit that can attack us. And that's why I do spiritual encrypted encounters so people can be aware. Like, if there's any people here in the military, if there's anybody that's in the military right now that's tuning into spiritual encrypted encounters, keep yourself protected, brothers. Keep yourself protected. Have extra protection on you. I know that you're worried about the things you might face that's physical, which you do have equipment to protect you from physical things. But you need to find, I know some of y'all believe in Jesus Christ and have some kind of faith. That's power, prayer is protection through Jesus Christ. And of course, there's certain minerals that can protect you also, like black tourmaline, black obsidian, selenite can bring your guardian angels, heavenly angels around you, because it'll store energy and make any mineral that's with it strong. Could have additional protection to protect you spiritually, because for those that are still in the military, we go to other countries that have there are things there also in these countries that we get deployed to, in which they're not gonna debrief us of what's out there spiritually. The military is not gonna never debriefs us of what's out there spiritually. They're non-denominational. The only thing they debrief us is about the mission that we're supposed to do. What what the risk factors of living or dying is, how many troops there is, what we're facing, if there's obstacles, what kind of equipment they have. That's the only thing that debrief us. Never once in the military anybody debriefed us about spiritual warfare. And that goes hand in hand, because when there's war, there's hatred, there's anger, there's violence, and you're going to have spiritual things out there, spiritual entities. They're going to be there to see if they can find the spiritual opening. I believe that the military needs to have a class of protecting themselves spiritually, because I've seen the ranks, or the ranks within the military, being infiltrated by these unseen forces, like the forces of the Djinn. I've seen it get infiltrated out there in the front lines. I've seen it get infiltrated, demonic activity. Right? They don't put no holy crosses in the billets on the tanks. Right? I've seen infiltration spiritually. We've one of the things that we've had in the military throughout the years, suicide. Many soldiers commit suicide. If I were to go to Darnell Hospital right now, There's a lot of people up there in the fifth ward, or if they move the ward somewhere else, where they have mental issues. But it's not because it's mentally; it's because it's spiritually. You know, they train us to be soldiers, right? But they never train us how to fight spiritually. They train us to fight as a soldier, offensively and defensively, but they don't teach anybody how to fight spiritually. Luckily, I was taught that since I was a kid, and I've been fighting spiritually all my life, in which I implemented that with me being a soldier. I've been a spiritual soldier all my life compared to the 10 years of being a soldier. I've overcome the enemy through Jesus Christ. Physical enemy that was trying to destroy us, and spiritual enemy through Jesus Christ. That's why I'm a little bit different. I know that the military listens to what I'm saying. I'm just being I'm being truthful about it. I've had where they've sent people my way in the past, people that are affiliated with the government that want to put a hit out on me because they want me out of this world and stuff, or I say too much. Hey, I was like that when I was in the military, and I'm still like that right now. And I'm going to continue to be this way because this is who I am. They know who I am. They know they've been knowing about me for a very long time. Just put it that way. Yeah, we're just doing a quick live here for the members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. So I hear all these things that people talk about. Any cryptid you could think of, or any spiritual entity that you could think of, I've encountered. I've encountered because I've been blessed since I was a kid to see things that are in spirit. So I've encountered just about everything. And I know that the key to that is not to be afraid when you see it. Look at it with your Heavenly Love Foundation, and it'll flee with your Heavenly Love Foundation. Or if you have to, type on your book in the name of Jesus Christ, and it'll flee. It'll leave you alone. A Heavenly Love Foundation is the strongest spiritual gift that you have for those that are blessed with the spiritual gifts of discernment. It's the Heavenly Love Foundation that makes the rest of the spiritual gifts be unique, be great. If you do not have a Heavenly Love Foundation, then your gifts are not as strong as you think it is. If you think you have spiritual gifts, because it can be tainted, especially you have hatred or vengeance. So you have to forgive and maintain your Heavenly Love Foundation. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the souls. Man, I wouldn't look down on the ground, brother and sisters, when I was out there, because there was bodies on the ground, body parts, you name it. So I would just pray. I wouldn't look down. I wasn't trying to take pictures with anything of any kind of sort. But yeah, war. There's a saying that said war is hell. But yeah, war is one of the things that some people live and some people die. But you gotta place your faith, no matter what position you're in, whether you're in the military, you're an officer, a policeman, a doctor, whatever your traits are. Place your faith and believe in Jesus Christ, because He's the one that's going to be able to guide you spiritually to be the best that you can be. Yeah, those degen out there, they'll be they're like getting the energy off when we start the tanks because of the heat that the turbine engine gives out. The degen that will be there, like when we start up the tanks, to drain the energy off the tanks, the heat, or if we would have like burn pits or where we burn our trash, the degen will surface up and drain the energy of the ashes where there's still fire. They would drain that. I could literally see them, brothers and sisters, where they'll be standing, kind of like a Green Reaper look or a Druid, but imagine something like that, very very tall, like 12 foot, 13 foot tall. You're not seeing one, you're seeing like 12 or 16 of them standing around the burn pit. And they're standing there because you can see them through, you can only see their silhouette, right? Spiritually, I could sense, but when I would put the night vision, I could see their silhouette. They have no body heat, but I could see the darkness of the shadow figures standing, literally standing around the burn pits. And this was a daily thing at nighttime, where they're getting the energy from the sun, because there's coral and all underneath the sand, all kinds of things. Probably limestone, so they get the energy of the sun. And then at nighttime, they was getting energy off the burn pits. So yeah, I would see the gin all the time, and other things that are out there. Of course, Ghost, the ghost of the fallen soldiers that were out there that died in combat. When I went back in '95, that the Alpha Alpha were set up in, I witnessed ghost activity of soldiers, Iraqi soldiers, where they're running information, but it's their spirits. You could hear the gear, you could hear the boots stomping on the ground, and then they would pass right in front of me while I would be putting a guard at the main gate where the Constantine wire is, and they'll go right through it, and then they would disappear. And they'll be looking at me too when they're running. They're looking at me because they know I can see them. So they'll be looking at me, and I would just do the sign of the cross, and I would pray. You know. Then there was one that was sitting beside me, looking at me. He's trying to tell me something in a different language, and he's just there staring at me. I believe it was a djinn. I'm staring at it, and then I just start praying the Our Father. When I start praying the Our Father, deliverance prayer, it disappeared. But yeah, And some of them, sometimes they show themselves to you because they they want spiritual help. They want to cross over. But you see, their religion to Christianity is different. So I don't know how they will fall in the category of them needing help to cross over. But they knew that I could see them spiritually. So they would show themselves to me all the time. I wish I had the equipment back then that we have now. I could have recorded there and showed it to y'all. Yeah, you gotta have a very strong mind, brother and sisters. Um, Everything you do, all the training, your mind, the way your mind put your mindset when you go do a rotation. Like if you're out there for 3 months or 6 months or a year, your mindset has to be about the job and the mission. You cannot be worried too much about what's happening in the rear. Back home, if you have a family, you can't be worried too much about that. You need to stay focused on the mission while you're out there. Whether, like I said, whatever rotation you're doing, you got to be focused on the mission. Can't be focused too much what's on the rear. And I think that right there, when they give the soldiers opportunity to speak to their loved ones, which if they talk to them every day or twice a day, 3 times a day, I think that all affects the mentality of the soldiers, because the soldiers should be focused on the mission, right? The mission should have full attention. Not unless there's something bad that happens that they need to go back because something happened to a family member or a loved one passed away, then that's different. But to me, they need to the army needs to focus on you know these things that they give the soldiers nowadays. I think they should take that away and let them focus on the mission. And if they stay focused on the mission, I think we'll have a lot more soldiers alive right now than being deceased. We've lost a lot of soldiers because they wasn't focused on the mission, and there was a lot of distractions. And I believe it's because of the things that they do for the soldiers, right? Like that's one of the examples. I never liked talking over with nobody on the phone, or I didn't even write letters when I was in the military because I wanted to stay focused on being the soldier I had to be in the combat environment I was in. You want to call it gun ho, the mentality of a warrior. Well, that's how it was. I had to be that way. Yeah, because you have to have that mentality in order to survive an environment. That you're gonna make it back safely, but you got to stay focused. Can't have any distractions, right? Something trying to distract you from being who you are, how you can be, or how you need to be. You can't let nothing distract you from that. You know. That's why when I was in the army, if somebody had a problem with me, and to me, I don't need. When you're out there in the front lines, you already got the enemy you have to worry about. So if somebody start acting a fool and trying to start stuff, then so well, I don't want to have to watch my back with people that are around me as soldiers. So we settle it. We handle it. We can talk about it, but we handle it. Man to man. You know, let the best man win. You handle it that way. And you just once you handle it, it's handled. Then you just move on forward of doing the mission. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I see a lot of people, man, that have some issues. I mean, you can look at my pictures and my videos and say, "Oh, brother Abe CS who has some issues." You know, they can say I have PTSD. They can say whatever they want to say about me. I really don't care. But I do see that there's a lot of people that have a lot of openings, and I believe the number one opening that people have right now within the crypto community or any genre you can think of, the opening is the power of belief, because they're believing in these things, thinking that they're real. And me, of where I've been and I've seen what I've seen while I was in the military, when I was growing up, all throughout my life, I see them more as things of the spirit, because that's what they truly are. Where that's why you can't kill them, can't shoot them. That's why well, the people that say that they've killed a dog, man, that they've killed a Bigfoot, that they've killed a reptilian, and they killed a Nephilim. I'm gonna be honest. I'll call BS on that. You can't kill something that's already dead, because they are the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. They're in spirit. So you can kill something. Maybe you shot at it and you say, I'm a good shot. It was a direct hit. It's dead. But there was no body. So if there was no body, then how can you say you killed it? If there's nobody to take a picture or to give it to somebody, look, this how it looked. If there's no body, then how can you say you killed it? In the military, when we body count, that's what they call body count. We got body count, and then we got vehicles, how many vehicles we destroyed. So for the vehicles, we just have how many we destroyed, because we have to say how many confirmed kills we have, right? Of how many tanks were destroyed. For example, I'm a tanker, 19 kilo, 19 kilo 1, 19 kilo 2, 19 kilo 3, and it's probably up high now, right now, the numbers of the kilo. Uh, we have to give a description, right? Before we shoot a round, the gunner has to ID what he's shooting at. For example, like it's a tank, it'll say gunner. The TC will give a command like gunner sable tank, and the gunner looks at the tank, and if it's the gunner sable tank, and you'll give them a direction where to look, and then they have this equipment where you can mark it, and it'll designate by itself automatically the tanks. But he shoots a target, you get the confirmed kill. If they see troops, they say troops so and so, and they'll say identify fire on the way, shoot some coax at it. you know so we have to keep a how many kills we got, confirmed kills, in which you're going to have the burning tanks. You're going to say destroyed 15 tanks, 17 tanks, and other things, troops, how many troops you destroyed. You got to take a body count, and there's body bag detail. Body bag detail, it'll show, whatever's left of the individuals that put them in body bags. They have a body bag detail, the police of the body bags. So in saying that, we had to do it in the military. Something that's real. We had the proof of the burning tanks that we destroyed, and all these bodies that had to be placed in body bags. Confirmed kills, right? in the path that you traveled. All the confirmed kills, in which there were many. Body parts, bodies being placed in body bags. Where's the body bags for the Bigfoots, the Dogmen, and other cryptids that people claim that they killed? Zero. Zero bodies. Zero body bags. Zero. Nothing. Nada. Why is that? Why don't they have any body bags? You know, they say, oh, there's a cop out. They'll say, oh, well, I killed it and the government came and got it. Come on, man. If you're not in the military, you're not in the army, the Marines, or anything like that, and you're, for example, a truck driver or somebody that says that you claimed you killed something, the government ain't going to just show up right there and then on the time frame that you killed it. That you're going to say that you shot it, and that the government came as soon as you shot it and took him away. Or the others where they say, oh, other Bigfoots came and took the body. They take their own. I've run into deer. I see people kill animals, and the kill is a kill. I got buddies that are hunters. Confirmed kills of deer, of elk, buffalo, uh, uh, rhinos. A buddy that I was telling you about that works for the government still. He's gonna kill lions and all kinds of things. And he's got I guess people want to call them trophies, pictures of the confirmed kills, where they're right there by the deceased carcass of the animals that they killed. How come nobody from those communities, the people that are supposedly or a high echelon, or they're considered so to be in a high echelon of something, and got to proof of this? There's even shows on TV that there's no proof of the existence of a Bigfoot. Yeah, because they're spirits. But you heard it, Sister Joanne, and I know y'all. I mean, I'm not. I don't have nothing against people that believe in Bigfoot, or people that say that they're cryptozoologists. I'm just asking a simple question: where's the body bags? Where's the evidence? Because there's been many people, they've claimed that they've killed a Bigfoot, a Dogman, and other cryptids. Where's the proof? In which, if there's no proof, then the story's got to be fabricated. I'm not saying that they didn't see nothing. I'm more sure he seen something. But what he seen was the manifestation of the DDN, which is in spirit, right? So there's some that see a Bigfoot, there's some that see a Dogman, lycanthrope, werewolf, whatever you want to call it, Sasquatch, that they've seen it, they shot at it and said they killed it. But there's no body, because what they shot at was a spirit of the DDN. which there's not going to be no body. I'm not saying they didn't see anything, but for them to say that they killed it or they put a weapon, like I hit the Bigfoot with his on top of the head, and I gave it a big old bump on the head. You know, they can say something, but if they don't get the proof, I'm not saying that they didn't see anything. I'm more sure they seen something that scared the crap out of them. If something, they need to say the truth. And I'm thinking they don't want to say the truth because they feel if they speak the truth about it, the people are going to think that they're crazy, or people from the cryptic community are going to come down on them hard because they're not fitting their narrative that Bigfoot or Dogman or fleshbug creatures, especially if they said that they shot it and they didn't do nothing to them, that the bullets went right through it. It'll take away from the narrative that they're flesh and blood creatures. But I see what they're doing. They're trying to spin the narrative that they come from another dimension. They come from another dimension. UFOs drops them off and takes them. They have stories like, oh yeah, the Dogmen are affiliated with them. They're their pets. You don't hear all these stories, right? But you know that saying, you can't bullshit a bullshitter. Well, I see a lot of discrepancies in a lot of the stories. But if they would share the story and be truthful about it, that when they say the story, you believe it 100%, be truthful about it. That's all I'm saying. If you want to say something, be truthful about it, regardless of how people want to see you or how people are going to come up against you. So long you're speaking the truth about it is what matters. And people need to listen to the truth. Yeah. I'm just being honest about it. They don't call me Honest Abe for no reason. I'm just playing. Honest Abe. Yeah, I mean, look, I was in the military and I had so many soldiers under me, that they expected me to keep an eye on them. You could say I was a father figure, a mother figure, whatever you want to call it. I was a person in charge of them. So I had to make sure that everybody was okay. And I've heard all kinds of stories for some of the soldiers. I heard stories, for example, some of the soldiers will say that they will see ghosts inside the billets. And I was saying, where are you seeing this ghost and all this stuff? And there I go trying to figure out what's going on. That they're like, they want to move to another room because certain things are happening in the rooms. So I'm there and I'm asking questions to the other soldiers that are around them. And then I found out what the problem was. That the ghosts that they were seeing were not ghosts. What was happening to them is some of them were smoking weed, and some of them were dropping acid. So what they were seeing was part of the hallucination from the drug. I figured that out by talking to other soldiers. I got the guy. I said, look, I'm not going to move you from the room. I done heard that you're doing this and this and this. I suggest you get off of that, because if they have a urinal test and you come out hot, it won't take your rank. You're gonna get a 45-45. The soldier kept on doing what he was doing. They had a urinal test. They busted them. 45, 45. You got your rank. 45, 45 means no pay and 45 days of extra duty. So you don't get paid those days. You lose money. So he was pissed with himself. He's like, Sergeant Sears, I should have listened to you. I say, hey, I was just trying to look up for you. Sometimes I give people advice because I'm looking out for them, just like I do here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Give advice to people because I'm looking out for y'all, right? Just like I was looking out for the soldier. So yeah, there's a lot of stories. To me, I'm not saying that they didn't see anything, but they're not saying the complete truth about it. That's all I'm saying. Because I've heard the stories. I'm not. You could tell, man, when somebody's being truthful, and you could tell when somebody's lying, when somebody's full of it. You do not. If something that you went through, right? You're gonna speak of it. First to nature, automatic. You're gonna remember it like it was yesterday. You're not gonna say, "Let me look into my notes." You're not gonna say, "Let me look into my notes." No. Why do you have to write something, right? Why do you have to write anything? If it's something that you went through and you experienced, it's because you went through it. Just like that guy, the trucker. He's seen something. I know he's seen something. The first reaction that he seen, took out his gun and shot at it. The one that was running by his vehicle. That he shot it. He said he killed it. And that's where I see as no, that didn't kill it because I know what they are. Because I've dealt with them. They're the DDN, disembodied demonic Nephilim. You shot at it at the manifestation, but you didn't kill it because it's already dead. It's in spirit. I'm gonna drop a link to see if anybody wants to jump on here and talk to me about this. What I'm speaking about. I know it's a hard topic to talk about, especially for those that are Bigfoot believers and Dogman believers. Us just speaking truth here. You know, I don't. I think I'm only in a couple of Bigfoot groups now and a couple of Dogman groups now, but I know a certain group, Bigfoot group, kicked me out of the group because I bring the truth to light. You know that I'm not going to lie to my members, man. I'm not gonna bullshit y'all. If I'm gonna say something to you, it's gonna be straight up. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you about something, uh, so you can believe into a lie. If I'm gonna say something to you, is so you can believe the truth. You know, that's the difference between me and a lot of the people that are pulling the wool over people. You know that they're bullshitting them. What do we got here? We got Andres Carizales. So, if anybody wants to, is there any Bigfoot believers here? If you want to defend what I'm speaking about, defend these individuals that they did kill a Bigfoot or they did kill a dog man, you're more than welcome to jump on. I'm just saying of what I witnessed and experienced. To me, they're demonic beings. The elders used to call Bigfoots demons. They said that the Sasquatch, I think that's another name, and they had another name to it. I think the Wendigo was another one. There was another different name they used to call them, and they would say that they were evil, they were demonic, and they would come corrupt the people because they would teach them witchcraft and necromancy. So they'll say they're more demonic. And another thing, they say that they would take their children, take women and children. I'm just saying, because I'm more sure there's somebody here that's uh in between. Come talk to me. We can talk about this. I wouldn't mind talking to some of these big believer guys. They consider themselves professionals, cryptozoologists, and all this stuff. Let's talk about it. You know, I was in the military 10 years, brothers and sisters. I trained day and night, all terrains, in the sun, in the rain, in the desert, in the snow, in the ice. I was in Europe, below zero, out there training sometimes. I trained all terrains. I've seen more things of the spirit than in the flesh that's out there. Yeah, where's all these people that represent Bigfoot? They want to come debate with me. They're more than welcome to come debate with me. No, I'm not saying that this DDN doesn't have the capabilities of doing certain things. Some of the capabilities they have is manifesting to look beastly. I think I have a picture of what seems to be a Bigfoot and a Sasquatch side by side. They have the ability to manifest to look real. They have the capabilities of mimicking sounds, voices, and appearances, even people that you might know. They have those They have many capabilities. But yeah, I don't mind talking to somebody about this because I've run into that. I think Pedro was here. Pedro Reina, he was talking about last time, and I think all this falls in the same category. We were talking about lechuzas, I think, last time. So if brother Pedro want to come out here, well, we can talk about this because I think he lives out there in the country. So I'm more than sure he's had experience with the things that I'm talking about. In Spanish, we call them bulto negros. And I'm talking about big bulto negros, huge, which means dark shadow figures. They're so huge at nighttime that they look like Bigfoots. Sometimes they have red eyes and they're huge. How do I know that they're evil? It's because your hair stand up. They have like a how should I say? It interferes with your space. So all your hair stand up. You get the goosebumps, and even your stomach hurts because they're demonic in nature. They affect you that way. They affect your senses. I'm not sure, Pedro. If you seen the lechuza, he said he seen a. He didn't know how to call it lechuza or something else. It was a. He said it was in the form of a raven. It was huge, and he spoke to him in the voice of a man, which to me that was a brujo, which would be like a warlock. It's kind of like shapeshifter skinwalkers. They're here in Central Texas, but they're in spirit. But they're here. I've seen them. Uh, I can go out there and just be recording it, and they're going to surface up. They're going to be looking like a shadow figure, but they're here all over Central Texas. Sometimes people contact me from Belton, uh, from the lakes the lake that we had, Belton Lake, that they witnessed a shapeshifter skinwalker out there that he crossed in front of the vehicle. I had a pizza delivery guy that he was scared that he quit his job at Domino's because he said the shapeshifter Skinwalker, as he was delivering pizza, stopped in the middle of the road in front of him, looking at him. He had the yellow eyes, and he walked off the road, and he got scared. That he stopped delivering pizza for Domino's. A lot of activity at shapeshifter Skinwalkers. Oh yeah, man. Look, or when they zap you, and they zap you so hard that your equilibrium goes upside down, and when you come to, you feel dizzy. Your stomach is hurting, like you have to go use a restroom. You have to urinate. Why do you think that happens? That it feels like you have to go use the restroom, number two and number one, and you feel disorientated because that unclean spirit try to enter you or entered you through your senses, tear ducts, ears, nostrils, mouth, and through your privates. That's when you get the urge of going using the restroom. So if you're out there and this happens to you, please don't use the restroom out there. Try to hold it in till you get out of that area that you're investigating. Because if you try to use a restroom, it might try to enter you as you're using the restroom. So I suggest do not try to hold it in, man. You know, or how you say it, tighten up them butt cheeks. Start thinking about something else. Breathe in and breathe out and take control. Because this is what they want you to do. It wants to see if it can find an opening to enter. Oh, yeah. There you go. Pedro Reina said, if you want to jump on, Pedro, I'll drop a link here. You want to jump on? There's a link right there. You want to jump on and say the story? I know you said you wanted to share the story with us last time, but he said that the raven or the former raven, some people call him tecolote, which means owl, but yeah, they can manifest to look different. He said that he flies over the world. That he was most likely taking a break, right? Yeah, normally I don't do lives on Saturdays, but I say, what the hell? Why not? I don't mind having an open discussion with people that want to have an open discussion, but let's be fair about it. Just don't make it one sided. There's people that I had to leave their community. It's kind of like they place a picture and you could tell it's a person in costume, or you could tell it's AI. They don't want you to say nothing like that. They don't want you to say it's a person in costume. They don't want you to say it's AI. They want you to say that it's a real Bigfoot, even though it's fraudulent. No, what kind of uh, honesty is that? That even if you were to Google the picture or the video, it'll say that it's not a real picture. It'll say that it's somebody in costume. If you would use Google Lens and take a picture of that, it'll tell you that it's not real. It'll tell you it's AI. If it's AI, right? But then there's groups, they get mad because you don't agree to what you're seeing. When you enter the groups, they want you to say, I think one of the things they say, do you believe in Bigfoot? and then they say, uh, uh, if you make fun of a picture or a video, you won't get boot. You can get booted out permanently out of the group. So what I do when I was following certain people because they were supposedly certain people's friends, I wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't say nothing about the pictures or anything, because you know I wish I could say the truth. I wouldn't say nothing because it was against the rules. You know, what's the? It's like one sided, man. You know, so many pictures that I've seen that they're AI generated, and they're like, oh look, there's a baby Bigfoot. I've seen that video of I've seen the pictures, man. I've seen that. It's a family that dresses up as Bigfoots. They literally, the father dresses up the children as little Bigfoots, as adolescents, and they're out there pretending to be Bigfoots. People take those screenshots and then they say, "Look, there's a Bigfoot here. We found a Bigfoot." But I've seen the videos where you can, they shows the father and the children that dress up as the Bigfoots. I mean, shows their faces and everything. But then in this sites, I mean, I'm not there no more. I left. I believe honesty is a big part of things. And if you can't be honest about certain things, then why am I doing there? Why am I going to believe a lie if it's a lie? I'd rather be honest about it. At least here in Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, and I think I spelled encounters wrong. Let me correct that. I put I put military encounters. There we go. We got somebody here. We got Phil. Okay, let me add it to the stream. Let me go over here. Wow. Keeps on. Are you there, Phil? What up, Phil? Let me send a fresh link because it's not allowing you on here. Let me redo the link. I'm going to refresh the link. Wait one. I refreshed the link. Yeah, for some reason the link is not working. Yeah, I don't know about that, brother Pedro, about of fighting this DDN that they speak of. The DDN, their spirits. Now, some people say, oh, the government is probably using the DNA and recreating them and all this stuff. You just got to know one thing, that the power of when the Heavenly Father destroys something because it's not meant to be in this world, it's gone. It's gone forever. In the flesh, right? It's gone. But the DDN still are here amongst us, but they're in disembodied form. I call them disembodied demonic Nephilim, which are unclean spirits, and some of y'all might know them as demons. There's a link, Phil. There's a new link right there. You wanna jump on? I see somebody trying to jump on there. There was this thing where the soldiers were out in, I don't know if they were in Bosnia, somewhere out there. So they created some, I guess, like pasta stories, I said, okay, let's create a story and put it out there and see how many people are going to believe in the story. See how far it gets. So when I hear that kind of story, that's what I think of that. Uh, that is something that's made up. Trust me, I have friends in higher places that deal with all this special missions and all this. If something like that did happen, I would have already known by it. I would have known a long time ago about it. We'll see, brother Law Morgan. But you got to remember that the DDN are here amongst us. The disembodied demonic Nephilim. The Watchers are still chained up, and they're going to go into the lake of fire at those times. But I'm more sure that this when the veil lifts, that things might happen. But they're in the flesh, so it's going to be more of a spiritual warfare, spiritual battle. Yeah, there's a link. I don't know. Somebody named Phil kept on jumping up, but I didn't see who this Phil guy was. I know it was, but I dropped the fresh link. Yeah, let's see if we can add Phil here. How you doing, Phil?
Hey, how you doing, Abe?
Who's this? Phil who?
Phil Prado. I've spoken to you before. How you doing?
How you doing, Phil?
Yeah. Good. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing well. But you sound familiar. Is your name Phil for real, or is this your name something else?
No, I'm the real deal. We've
You sound
spoken
like
before.
somebody else that I know. Your
I
voice
don't
sounds
know
very
how
familiar.
well, if I am, I am. But no, I'm who I am, and I've spoken to you before. And so I got to call.
So, what do you want to talk about, brother Phil?
Oh, I just want to check in with you and see how you're doing and whatnot. And because last time I spoke to you, I think I gave you a story, my story, and it
And
turned
what
out
was
to be what was it?
the story about, brother?
Oh, it was a situation where I was chilling out, waiting to go to work in the morning, and I had a bunch of what it seemed to me to be
Bigfoot's.
yes,
Is it you're the one that's over there in New York, right?
no, on the
Not in
West
New
Coast.
York, in Washington. It happened in Washington.
Yes, it was in Washington. That's correct. So yeah, so listen, I live in Oregon, but I was working up in Washington. I got called. I got called. It was like an all hands call to a job on a Saturday morning type of thing. So I went over there and cruised out and checked things out like I always do. I always check out my job sites before I, get ready to go to work in the next morning or whatever it is. And so I found a spot. Seemed to be cool to me, and I was chilling. And I don't know if you're gonna remember this or not, but so here's how it goes. I had a spot. I was kicking, chilling, and like I'm saying, and all of a sudden I'm hearing all these, all these. I don't know what they're. I'm gonna say beings, whatever they were. They're
You're
going
hearing
about.
like like sounds, right?
Yeah, they're cruising by, and I'm telling you what, it wasn't like one or two. It was like 10 or maybe 15 or 20 of them, and I could hear them as they went away. But they're cruising through there, and they're doing this fake hoo hoo. They're doing that fake owl hoo hoo, and I'm just tripping. And so I'm just fucking, dude. I'm in my truck camper. I'm thinking I'm chilling for the night, trying to relax, get a couple hours of rest. Getting ready to go to work the next morning. And here we go. And it's like, I'm telling you what, dude, it freaked me out. It was like at least 15 to 20, and I hear them as they're coming through. Hoo hoo, and they're going hoo hoo to each other, and they hoo hoo, and I hear them as they're moving out, and they're moving on beyond, further out. I don't know how many yards or feet, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm feeling cruising through, and I'm just like stunned, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to do anything because they could tear my stuff up if they wanted to. But yeah, I think I've told you this story before, one time before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said when all this was happening, because I was talking about spiritual openings. You camped out there because that was a job site where you're going to be at.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
getting prepared to show up for
I
the
got
next.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Were you drinking or were you doing smoking weed or something?
No, I don't smoke weed. I might have had a couple of shots of whiskey or something like that, but I wasn't
So
out of my
you
mind
were drinking that day when all these things were happening.
that day or that night. Yeah, well, maybe that night.
Yeah, because sometimes the if you're drinking or doing anything like that, that's an opening. So if something that's like in spirit, right, they're gonna mess with you because you have the opening there, And I'm thinking that's what you're hearing, the things that you're hearing. Uh,
No, I mean, I agree with you to an extent, as far as that's a possibility. However, I have to disagree on the extent of my experiences. My life experiences.
yeah,
That's never
because
happened.
you didn't actually visually see anything. You just heard, right?
Yeah, yes, but
Because you say you were hiding, you hid, but
then
because it
I'm
sounded
not
like many around you.
hiding. I'm within my compound.
Yeah,
I'm within my my truck camper, and so I'm just chilling. But no, but I've got the situation documented as far as I know where I was at. It's
yeah. I remember the story, brother,
yeah,
because you told it. That you heard all the sounds. You
but
didn't
yeah.
visually see something, but you heard all the sounds around you, and I believe that you heard something.
Hmm.
And the DDN does that, man. They like to mimic. So for the fear factor, they do this. You might have heard growlings, you might have heard something being said, but they do it for the fear factor because they're trying to find an opening. You had an opening, and that's how they
No,
attack.
they're not. Well, that's fine. They're not attacking me. I don't have any openings like
No,
that,
no,
buddy.
I'm talking about that's how they attack spiritually, brother.
No, I understand.
The reason they were making those noises is because they wanted you to believe what you
No,
were hearing was
I don't
real.
believe in it. No, listen, I don't believe anything. It is whatever it is, and the bottom line is, you know, if somebody can come on, they can. I don't care. They can fake it out and do whatever they want to do. If that's what it is, they're doing it. You
Yeah.
know, they're not bothering me either way.
No, I'm saying that you probably did hear something, but that's what they do. That's what I'm saying. That they see that opening. It's like I'll give you a story. there was this guy that had just come back from war, from the new Iraqi war, and the incident that I went through in Elms Grove. I would tell his younger brothers. One was like 18. The other one was 19. I said, hey, do not go to this side of the park because that's where I had my encounter. I want nothing to happen to y'all. And I was warning them, right? And of
Yeah.
course, when the brother came, they told him what I told him to stay away from that area. So the brother was drunk and he was walking on the street and he started yelling at me. And I was like, is your name? He asked, is your name Abe? So yeah. And he's like, he yelled at me. He said, you're full of shit, I was like, so he come down walking all drunk, and I was like, what's up, man? I said, take me to that area where you say that there's something there. I don't believe you. You're full of shit. And he started disrespecting me, I said, look, man, you're drinking, you're drunk off your ass. I don't want to take you to that area right now because they can attack. You have the opening, you've been drinking. So he starts it keeps on, it keeps on. It's I just came back from war. I'm not afraid of anything, blah, blah, blah. And he keeps on disrespecting me, calling me all kinds of bad words. And, he's drunk. I'm paramilitary. And I was like, after a while, I said, okay, you want to go? Let me take you. So there I go. I said, I'm going to go, but I'm going to, as far as I'm going to go is to the swing set. I take him there. It's like 2:30 in the morning, almost going to be 3. Things like 2:30, 2:45. So I walk to and I sit on the swing set. So as soon as we get there and I sit down by the swing set, he hears a woman laughing coming out of the woods. And he looks at me and he says, you're setting me up. And I look at him and say, how am I setting you up if you told me, I told you I don't want to come here and I come with you. Do you see me go inside the house? And I'll come here and, there's this woman laughing in the woods. And he's like, I'm not afraid of you. That's what he says. So this guy decided to take off his clothes. He's drunk. He's in his boxers. He took off his shirt, took off his pants, and he's in his boxers. He's trying to go in there in the woods like the movie Platoon. And I'm just sitting there checking him out. I said, man, let's get out of here. Don't go near those woods. I'm telling him. And he keeps on hearing this woman laughing. So he started going to the edge of the woods, and he's by the edge of the wood line. He's got his hands up in there like this. Next thing you know, he starts screaming. And he's going, screaming like something's happening to him. So when he turns around, he's bleeding from all jugular points, from the neck area, from the wrist, from when the elbow's bent. He's bleeding from behind the knees. He's bleeding from the ankles. I mean, blood is coming, where he's bleeding. He runs, grabs his clothes, picks it up, and takes off running. So I get up and I do the sign of the cross and I start praying. And I tell the unclean spirits that are there, leave him alone. Don't follow him, right? That's what I said. 2 weeks later comes back. He comes back 2 weeks later. And he tells me that he wants to apologize to me, that I was being truthful to his brothers and thank you for looking up for his brothers. And he said, all I'm going to tell you is this, whatever's there is pure evil. And I asked him, why do you say that? He said, because the areas I was bleeding from, when I was out there in combat, I tried to take my life numerous times, and I will cut myself in those areas. He said, whatever that is in those woods knew what I was trying to do to myself. And he moved out of the park, and that was the last time I ever seen him. So there you go. The opening was the drinking. And he got attacked spiritually because of the drinking. But he made the mistake of thinking that it was somebody real in those woods, and he says, "I'm going in," right, because of the laughing that the woman was doing. That he gave the power of belief that it was real. That's how he got attacked. But I don't know what happened to the guest. I don't know. He was drinking a little bit of liquor or what, but he disappeared. Then we got here. We got Sister Beyond the Box here. I'll drop a link here for Sister Beyond the Box. Or whoever likes to join. I'm just sharing a story, man. You know, beer, drugs are spiritual openings. If you're putting it in your system and it's affecting you because you're going to see things, you're going to hear things, right? Because of the spiritual openings. That guy had just come back from the new Iraqi war, and he thought that he didn't have no openings, that he wasn't afraid of nothing. The opening was the beer, or because he was drunk, and the other opening is that he believed that what was in the woods was a woman, so it attacked him. And when he got scratched, it was laughing in there, you know. The unclean spirit was laughing. So yes, I've heard brother Phil say a story before, and that's why I'm comparing the story of this other fella to his. That's all I'm saying. That to me, it feels like it's more of a spiritual thing. The opening was there, you know. Yeah, it's a true story. The boys, uh, they were hanging around with my nephews, and I think they were a little bit older than my nephews. But I warned them about that area to stay clear from that area. You know, the brother was coming from a combat environment, and he experienced that. He got attacked worse there than what you ever witnessed in war. Yeah, being how should I say? Let's say it nicely. Being drunk off your ass might not help you when it comes down to spiritual warfare. You know, I try to warn people. I try to look out for people. I mean, you're not gonna go to combat drunk off your ass, right? You're gonna be able to, if you're out in a combat environment, you're gonna be sober to be able to perform your duties as a job that you're trained to do. Yeah, it's more spirits. No, this is a spiritual opening. Any kind of booze, spiritual opening. Any kind of drugs is a spiritual opening. Uh, it's just spiritual openings, man. It's contaminating your vessel, basically. That's what that is. Yeah, your temple is your vessel. It's supposed to be holy. It's supposed to be uh, pure. It's supposed to be with a heavenly love foundation. And when you put yourself in a situation like that, you're leaving an opening for your temple or your vessel to be attacked spiritually. Yeah. That's why when I go out and I'm dancing to take my wife, I'm not out there drinking because I know about the spiritual warfare and that I have to be a certain way. So when I go dancing, I drink water. That's what I drink is water. I don't drink beer or liquor, nothing. I just drink water because I know that the works that I do, the enemy is always waiting to find a spiritual opening. How you doing, brother Alan? Let me look at the comments here. But yeah, I witnessed it numerous times. Like when I go out, I like going dancing where there's unclean spirits show up, and I have to have my spiritual guards up at all times because they surface up, you know. But that's why I don't drink and I stay spiritual ready. You know, I could be having a good time, but sometimes when I'm having a good time, I still got to be aware of my surroundings, not just of the unclean spirits that surface up, but also people trying to make contact. You know, spiritual warfare is very real, and that's what happens during spiritual warfare. I had a soldier, something like that happened to him, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get him to come on the show. He witnessed something. He said it was a Bigfoot that he witnessed, but you know, here in Central Texas, there's a lot of shapeshifter skinwalkers, so he could have possibly been in that too. The range that we were, uh, it was in a different range, but all that land used to be native land, so we get a lot of activity of shapeshifter skinwalkers. Yeah, your pets have the sense. Did they know if somebody has a negative attachment? Babies can tell when somebody has a negative attachment, especially if they don't want to get near somebody because they're sensing something. Babies, they're pure, so that they can sense certain things. So basically, what I'm saying is, why defile your temple, right? With booze and or whatever you're doing, and it's just going to obstruct your spiritual senses or break the connection you have with the Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, right? You know, everybody is going to follow their own path in life. That's what they choose. You know, there's nothing that I can say or do for them if it's a personal choice. How you doing with August Brashaw? It's 2:05 in the morning, and we've been going for 2 hours and 21 minutes. See what we got here. What's this right here?
Little brother Abe.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I just wanted to come on here. I wanted to I seen you was doing a walk and talk yesterday.
Oh, I think the walk and talk was like about a week ago. It's been
Yeah.
a while. Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking it's kind of a good idea. Like you should try doing that again, and we should set it up, and we should all do walk and talks at the same time. Maybe give it a little bit more incentive to get out there and walk. Like if
Yeah.
you would go out there, post it, and some of us jump on, and we'll get on, and we'll walk with you while we're filming.
Yeah,
Well,
that sounds pretty good.
just an idea. I mean, I love walking. So when I seen that, I'm like, man, be really cool to be walking and talking and doing like a kind of a live doing that.
Yeah, I was cash activity, man. Sometimes in the walk and talks, the DDN surface up and they'll photobomb the video. Then one time there was a woman that came out of the woods and started talking to me. I was trying to avoid her, and she came and started talking to me. But I literally seen her coming out of the woods, and I don't know. I think I have the video when that happened. Something strange about her. I had a piece of black obsidian. I mean, black tourmaline with white
Tourmaline?
calcite on it, and I gave it to her. And she like, I know. I said, "Do you know what that is?" She said, "Yeah, I know what this is." But she looked at me a certain way, and we just went different directions.
Now
I don't know.
tourmaline, that's healing, right? Just
Yeah, she was talking about she needed a ride and all this stuff because she was gonna meet somebody and all this and blah blah blah. It's like I don't got time for that. So I just gave her the black tourmaline and I just walked to my house.
she
Last time there was a man that appeared out of nowhere, like he was on the street, he wasn't moving, and I passed by him like he was on his phone. He appeared out of nowhere. I think I took like 10 steps, and when I turned around, nowhere around, it was vanished.
that
There's no
sounds
way
like
that
that sounds
there's
like
no
some
way.
glitch or something. That's I've seen that being filmed, like people frozen or they'll just pop out of existence. They'll be there.
Yeah, he like literally disappeared. I think I
He had
caught
a
him on,
phone
on
too.
video. I took 5 to 10 steps, turn around, and he's not on the road. He's gone, completely gone off the road.
You said he had a phone on him.
It looked like he had something in his hand, but he was completely gone. Was he a ghost? What was he? I don't know. All I know that he wasn't on the road no more.
Time
But
traveler,
those are kind of things. I say more of
interdimensional kind of stuff.
a spirit. Uh, he didn't say nothing to me, but it's kind of like I think possible DDN because the DDN like to watch.
Yeah, it's weird that
Uh,
you say he had something or might have had something in his hand, especially.
yeah, looked like a cell phone.
That's weird. It's very weird.
How you doing, Sister Madeline? We
So
got many people are showing up out of the woodworks tonight.
I have a I can tell you about the first time I ever seen anything when I was young, and it was like it was a skeleton. It was a glow in the dark skeleton, and it was walking along my bedside. I was really really little, and my grandma Callie used to collect antiques. So when I would sleep in the bedroom, she had all these china dolls up on the wall on the shelves and stuff. They used to scare the hell out of me, make me so uncomfortable. I hated those things. And anyways, I remember I woke up and I know it wasn't a dream, and I was probably about I think I was about 6 years old. I woke up and I seen a light illuminate in the room, and I looked over, and I've never at that point in time I never watched no scary movies. I didn't know what a skeleton looked like, but there was a green, and he was glowing, a skeleton. He didn't say anything, but um, he walked down by the bottom of my bed, came all the way around me, and once he got to the right side of me, he went like this, and then I pulled the covers up under my head. And for about 20 minutes, it stayed like that. When I pulled him down, there was nothing there. But I never seen anything like that before, and that was my first uh, spiritual experience that I remember as far as seeing a manifestation. Uh, whether it's from the antiques or something in the house, I don't know. There was no follow up. It just was bizarre. I've never heard anybody tell a story about them seeing a skeleton that is like literally like if you have those green glow sticks, it was glowing that bright. And I had no coordination for any of those two things being that young, glow sticks or scary monsters. So that was I always wonder if that was a dream or if that really happened, but I remember it really happening.
So how old were you when this happened, brother?
I had to have been 6 years old. I remember I spent a lot of time when I was younger with my dad's mother, and she was really into antiques. I remember that, and she had some cats, and I remember after that happened, I never said anything to anybody, but I'd like to play with animals, and I'd go try to find them. So I was looking under the bed, and I had no idea anything about eye shine. And when I looked under the bed, I seen these little glowing eyes staring at me, and I screamed and I cried and I ran, and I didn't know what was going on. But here was just the cat underneath the bed, and it was just his eye shine. So I thought I thought there was more than just skeletons in that house, but that was pretty much the only experience I had there. As far as I remember, I don't think I don't think it was a scary thing. It didn't say anything. It more or less was like passing by and saying, "Shh, don't make a noise. I'm only going to be here for a second," and he was gone. I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, man, that I remember. It's just uh, when I got open up to all that, I started witnessing things. I was never the same, man. I was
Yeah.
already seeing things. I think the gift was always with me. It was really wasn't the time that I spent with the medicine woman, because the gift was already with me that I could see things within people and stuff since I was a kid or a
Can,
baby.
have you been able to turn that ability off? Can you turn it off if you want?
It's just something that's there. It's there. It's there with me forever. You know.
I mean, like
It's
me, I was able to turn it off because at one point in time, the stuff made me so uncomfortable that I kind of just I shut that out and I paid. I guess I focused on the world or something. I guess at that time, so even though the stuff was still there, I was ignoring it. So I'm not sure if you had the ability to shut it off or it's just something that was always there.
it's something that's always there. The gift is always there. It's not going to go away. You get used to it. You know. You get to learn how to use it, and it's just with you for forever. You know.
Yeah, my gift is pretty much being able to like feel like the empathy, I guess. Like feel I can feel things well before I can even see them. Like I'm very in tune to feeling if something is not right or if something like is around.
So, what do
Um,
you think, brother Rabbit, of the influence of like the side effects of drugs and liquor and beer and things in that nature that can affect you spiritually?
um, well, for one, if you're in that kind of habitual lifestyle for a long time, you don't realize that if you were to cut out all that stuff and be sober, how much more knowledge, how much smarter you would be, how much more productive you would be, how much more in tune you would be. Um, and that stuff really just it really just holds you down, and that's what they want, man. I mean, there is a
Do
spirit
you think it
attached to
when
to
somebody's in that path that that's what the unseen forces want them to be bonded because that's blocking your spiritual senses, right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Um, I do know like a lot of
Shadow Wolf
people
said,
a lot
it
of
says something
people
here for you, brother.
make excuses to like do that stuff because they have anxiety and depression, and they don't realize that it's actually feeding that uh, those bad things to you, and you don't realize it. So when people like try to get off stuff and they go through this horrible time of being sick, or they have anxiety real bad, that's stuff that has to come to pass, because that's just that's that demon there just trying to get you to feed that addiction back in there, because every time you smoke, you're pretty much lighting a offering to that demon behind that drug, or that whatever it is, whether it's nicotine or whether it's marijuana or anything like that. And
We're
alcohol,
doing Miss Tessa Marie. If you'd like to
alcohol.
share anything, Miss Tessa, you're more than welcome to jump on. I'll drop a link right there. Miss Tessa Marie. She said she had an experience as a kid, something dealing with a haunted house when she was 8 years old. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the people with the that have the bondages, man. Like I could, if I were to talk to somebody or see them, I can tell the people that have negative attachments, which I have to talk to them how to get rid of it, or pray for them, or rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name. Get the negative attachment on them, and I could see them. I could see the negative attachments. Just put it that way, how they look and everything.
When you black out, when you drink, you don't know what's behind the wheel. Um, I know some people that when they were really really drunk and they were out of their mind, their eyes would turn and black, like coals. You can tell that there was a spirit inside of them that was and they don't, those people, they don't remember blacking out. So that's because they weren't driving the car. There was something else there. I've seen it destroy so many people. I don't like drinking. I was never much of a drinker. Um, it just doesn't adhere to me. I mean, and two, when a lot of people who especially like Vietnam vets, man, they come out and they are stuck so hard on alcohol that when they get older, they're drinking so much they have to drink to live, and then they're getting stuff amputated off. I mean, alcohol is the demon behind alcohol. It's just a wasting disease. It's a wasting demon. It's what it does. It causes wasting of your body, and to the
Withered, like
point,
to get you withered.
yeah, to the point where you have to have it to survive, and then that's too late. Um, anything that is too much in abundance is not good. I mean, even I'm not saying that doing uh, drugs or anything like that on a small level is good. I'm just saying with like drink too much water, or maybe too much caffeine, or just
Sugar.
simple little sugar too. Like there's a lot of things. Everything is good, but too much of something is bad. I mean, even if people were trying to quit smoking, because they do have they have to smoke because they have these they need a break. Whenever you cut that out of your life, you'll notice that that stuff is just, it's a fabrication. It was never there when you came into this earth. Drugs were never there. Being sober is a wonderful thing. Having a good and sound mind is a blessing. Having a great physical body to be able to move around in is a blessing, especially if you're older than most, or however, if you didn't do those things, more often than not, you could be in pretty good shape if you wanted to be. Even so, not saying that if you're doing that stuff you can't be in good shape, because you can bounce back. But truth of the matter is you're not going to get anywhere in life hiding behind something that is going to take the pain away, because truly it's just a band-aid that gets ripped off every day, every night, and you put it on again and you rip it back off. And it's like, I don't want to be slave to anybody except for Jesus Christ. And I'm no saint. Every once in a while, I vape nicotine. I don't smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes. I'd like to quit. I just like the taste. But these things are terrible too. And there's something behind these too, because you'll find yourself waking up at nighttime just to grab this and hit it. So what's really behind this? Not just addiction. There's a spirit behind all that stuff when it comes to like vaping culture and stuff. That is so, what's the word I'm looking for? Ritualistic, as far as like burning stuff. Like, it's just, you're just smoking, you're just putting that vapor, that smoke inside of you. That smoke is that demon. That there's a spirit attached to everything, whether you're burning sage, or whether you're doing drugs, or whether you're doing things to open your mind up to go into places you're not supposed to go, like DMT. I've never done that, but I know people who have. I'm cool. I see that stuff without doing it, so what's the point? I don't want to. I don't. A lot of people say they do that stuff because they get answers. And what are they getting answers for? They're getting answers that, everything in the universe is patterns. That's the secret of the universe. Okay, that's what the entities told them, I guess. I mean, God is pretty dang big on patterns. So it's just, I don't understand why people want to take these shortcuts and go to something else. Or, I don't know, man. It's not everybody welcomes God and Christ with open arms. And unfortunately, too, people that are doing drugs and stuff like that are the people we need to reach out to try to help them. I've lost a lot of people just through whenever fentanyl and stuff was coming around. And
Wow.
it was not even an overdose. That's a poisoning, and that's coming from the land of the dragon, man. And it's just, there is a principality behind all of this stuff, and that stuff, a lot of that stuff's coming here, and a lot of that stuff's killing a lot of people. I mean, it's just steal, kill, and destroy. So even without that being said, if you're going out just to go out, or if you're going out to screw around and hunt cryptids or ghosts or something, or if you're not doing that, you're opening yourself up, whether you know or not, whether you're looking for something or not. If you're high, if you are, it says in the Bible, if you are be sober minded, because the devil is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And that's just, I mean, I'm no saint, but always look back to that to try to give yourself that thing that you don't need alcohol, you don't need anything else. We need Jesus. We need fellowship. We need to live instead of breathing in smoke. Why aren't we breathing in the air that God breathed life into us? That's all they're doing, is just perverting everything with smoking. Is just a middle finger to God, to God's breath, to the life.
So when you were on the wrong path, brother, what made you do that? Like to be on the road, was it like think you were going through things? Oh, that's right,
Uh,
with your dealing
it
things
was
with your wife.
no, it was more or less. It started off because I was hanging around the wrong crowd, and since when I was younger, I got to do a lot of stuff other kids did not do, and I pretty much did whatever I wanted to, and I was always about 16 years old is when I got peer pressured into doing that. And then that pretty much changed my life. I was a pretty darn good kid up until that point. And the second that that happened, I mean, the first time and the second time that I smoked marijuana, I didn't feel it. But the third time I did. And then, like, I didn't quit doing that kind of stuff for years. I think there was one point in time I might have
So
quit.
what kind of marijuana were you smoking, brother?
I don't know, just
Regular bud
yeah.
or
Yeah, this is back in the 90s.
yeah?
So whatever that was, but I mean that just led to other things, and then I tried acid and mushrooms and all that other stuff, and growing up being a teenager, just doing that one thing, it is a gateway thing, but it's more or less it's the crowd that you have around. Um, but I I was so I've been sober for the longest time, and I tell you, it takes about 3 months when you smoke like that to get normal. And since I started when I was 16, I had no idea that there was actually like a brain up here that could function and have knowledge. And um, I quit smoking. I didn't have the need to. If I needed to do anything, I'd work out or I don't know, I'd listen to music or I'd have something to do with my time. I wouldn't need to do that. Plus, I mean, you just feel better. You feel so much better. Just I wish I would have known when I was 16 what I knew now. I'd probably be I don't know, I'd probably be a lot further as far as grades go, but that doesn't count for anything anymore. So uh I guess the good thing is when I quit, all the crazy stuff started happening with the COVID and all that stuff, and then I started getting open, and so ever since then, it's like, well, why do I want to do all that stuff when I know the truth behind it now? And it scares me more to know that there's a chance that you could die not sober. That's kind of unsettling. Like I don't want to die and not in my right mind. I mean, maybe if I'm old and senile, that's a little different, but I don't want to die behind a wheel, being drunk or anything like that. Like I've had close calls with car accidents, not myself, but being in cars with other people that were drunk. And I mean, I'm lucky to be alive. But that being
So
said, I mean,
you see you lost some friends
a lot of friends, a lot of friends with drugs, a lot of friends with drugs.
to the fentanyl.
Um, well, yeah. When that stuff started kicking around, it was like wildfire picked up because there were people that were getting pain pills that they thought were pain pills, but they were pressed fentanyl pills. So they were killing people instead. That nobody
Oh,
knew that they were fake, and they were coming from Cleveland or Akron or something, and it was coming around for the longest time. But yeah, I remember a couple years back. It's not. I don't think it's like that anymore. But I was just after my wife passed away, and I kind of got back to trying to reach out to people. I was being told that this person died, and this person died, and this person died, and this person died, and this person died. That whole time while I was gone, trying to mourn for her death, like all these other people that I knew have died taking a pill that they thought was just a Percocet or a Vicodin, and here it turns out to be pressed fentanyl. Um,
yeah, I've heard a lot of people here, man. When that was out, a lot of people died smoking it and stuff.
Oh, I mean, gosh, I mean, you don't. I mean, you can touch it. I mean, you don't. You don't
Sure.
know. You can't. Guess you can't measure that stuff out, or however they do it properly. I mean, it's such a weird thing, but it's like you don't overdose on fentanyl. You get you. It's a poisoning. They all call it overdose, like it's like a heroin overdose or something like that. That's not. It's a poisoning. Takes a very, very, very teeny amount if it's concentrated enough.
And they put it in. I think you hear the young females that are like 16, 15, 17, or young people that they're smoking something and it had is laced with fentanyl and they
They're
die.
putting they're putting fentanyl in weed now. From what I heard a couple weeks ago, somebody said that the stuff that's going around on the street is being laced with fentanyl powder. I mean I could. I mean now I seen everything because I mean they'll put that stuff in and uppers. It doesn't matter. They're putting it in everything. I mean the stuff's coming here from China, and it's been coming here freely, and not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. I'm sure on my end, it seems like that whole epidemic kind of slowed down. I, Maybe I'm not paying attention to it enough, but it seems to me that little kind of thing
They had,
teetered off a couple years ago.
yeah, a lot of people, man. Many people have died from that. You know, the people out there shooting up and doing drugs. The fentanyl was killing a lot of people. They didn't
Even
know that it was laced with fentanyl.
look, here's the crazy thing. When I was doing drugs, this is years way years back. I When that was going around, I had gotten one of those Percocets off of somebody, and I had taken a half one, and I died from it. And that was the reason why I never touched another drug ever again.
So what do you think was in the Percocet?
It was straight pressed fentanyl because I found out that there were 5 other people that I knew that took less than what I did, and it was the same stuff that had came in, and 5 people died from that. And I think there was
So,
2 others that got real sick, but they had told me that their friends had gotten the same stuff that I got. I look back at the source. It was around December and January when this was going on. I think it was
last
December.
year, I mean, like
No,
two
this
years
is
ago.
years ago. This is before COVID and all that. This is years ago. We're talking. God, I don't even want to think back that far. Holy crap! Long time ago. But it it changed my life, man, because I did not expect to do that. And then next thing I know, 2 hours later, I'm waking up and I had no idea where I was at, or who I was, or why my car was still running. And I was at McDonald's in the parking lot getting coffee. And all I did was I had the pill and I just took a piece of it. And that's the last thing I remembered. I remember when I woke up, the whole left side of my body was numb. It was cold. I didn't experience anything. Like on the other side, but I do know that that was not my time. It was not my time, and in fact, that was my wake up call because I had never, ever, ever, ever touched another pill since. I swore that stuff off quite a long time ago. Um, and with that, I think with that, I even quit smoking weed at the same time. So, like I said, it takes about 3 months for your mind to get back right. Like I was like a different person. Like when you're 16 years old and you're doing that stuff for like all the time, you don't know what normal freaking is. So of course it becomes an addiction. It becomes a habit. It becomes ritualistic. It doesn't matter. It becomes a part of your everyday life. And a lot of people that I
Yeah, man,
used to be friends with,
I
they're
remember
still
when people were hooked up on crack. Oh man, some of those
that
people,
that is
uh,
a I can't
the
stand that stuff.
those people that were doing the crack, man. I knew this couple, man, and they were on it, hooked on it bad, and the big dude, they were fight for the lighter, they were, and he would beat up his wife and all kinds of things, because they were hooked on it bad, man. And
Oh, they're probably yelling at each other like, "Where'd you hide it? Where'd you hide it?" I've seen people go through that together. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff. That's
freaking the
crazy
guy,
stuff.
I caught him choking out his wife because she didn't want to give him a lighter. She wanted to, I mean, and then the only reason is because I was helping out this people. I was trying to help them get on their feet. So I went to go visit and see how they were doing because I helped them move. Then I found out they were on the bad road. Wherever they moved, it was just bad, man. And I guess the wife left with a drug dealer or something, and he got mad and he went and burned the house of the drug dealer. And then his wife left him, went back somewhere else, and it was just crazy. I was like, man,
I
there's
mean
too much going on there, and
that
this
stuff
is
happens here
a
too,
big
man.
spiritual
Almost
opening.
exact same stuff happens here. Uh, okay, that story you just told me sounds very familiar, except they didn't burn the house down. They did something else.
Oh yeah, well, there are some people that I guess you could say they're not here no more. It's just it's not good, man. That's just a big spiritual opening
Yeah.
when you're trying to choke out somebody, or you're trying to take out people, or you're trying to steal stuff because you're not working and you're stealing just to get a hit. Sounds kind of familiar, right? Certain
It's
individuals.
so, and it's like
They're always asking for
so
20 here,
addicting.
20 there. Yeah, and it's
And the first, and I heard the first time that you do it, they're always chasing that first feeling, and they're never gonna get that first feeling that they had, and that's what they keep chasing. That in itself is scary. That's like man, dude, that's like chasing your own tail for no reward at all. There's no lifestyle there, and unfortunately, I know people like that. I've tried to help them, but here's the thing about people who are into or who are addicts too. Um, you cannot help them unless they want the help themselves. It has to start with what they want, and um, that also was the same with me. I mean, I guess I was looking for something to scare me so bad that I had a reason to never ever do anything. Well, I got that. Thank God it wasn't anything else, but I'm glad I never really went down that path. I was getting down that path, but I got pulled out of that path. Thank God. Um,
and
unfortunately,
if you don't think that we'll call it pharmakia is demonic, or this drugs is demonic, or
mhm.
the booze, the porn, all that's demonic influenced.
Oh yeah,
Trust me, I've seen it, man. I've seen it. I've seen it where people having they're literally bonded by. I think there was like a guy that was bonded by porn, man. Like
yeah. And if
demons.
anybody wants a
Actually,
physical explanation for anything like that because they don't do the spiritual stuff, I'll give them one. What that stuff does is it spikes your dopamine levels up to an unnatural place that it gets to a point where you have to look at more perverse stuff because it, you're not getting the same thing. So porn is like a drug. It's exactly like that. It's unnatural. You're releasing unnatural chemicals unnaturally in your brain that are not supposed to be released. The demons love that, man. The demons love to play on that because they're getting those chemicals are what are in control of your
you got
emotions and feelings.
the demons of perversion, demons of lust. Then you got succubus, incubus. They feed off of that. That's why I like tell people, watch out, don't leave the openings. How are you
Oh,
going to defend yourself? Even the people that were to drink, that's still an opening. How are you going to fight a succubus or incubus if they drain your energy and you're
yeah,
drunk?
because that's what they're going to attract. If they're going to screw around with the lesser ones, they're going to get something that is a little bit more serious in nature, as something like that, man. And they're out for more than just feeling something they can't feel. They're out to do something spiritually to you, as far as like planting a seed or making you their spiritual spouse or their spiritual husband. They're trying to tie themselves to you, or trying to
Yeah.
plant get to the baby, they're trying to cut your bloodline off, man, and they're doing it through blood and sex magic. That's a whole. You want to look at porn, you're going to open yourself up to succubus and incubus spirits.
I try to help out a gentleman, but I thought I helped him out, pray for him and everything, but he went back to doing the same thing, watching the porn again. He's talking about witches were attacking him and all this, but I mean, if you're living yourself up to the porn, you're doing it to yourself.
That whole industry is ran by freaking sorcerers and witches. That whole industry is demonic, is so flipping demonic. I mean, so my name is Rabbit, the rabbit season, owl season. I have that. It's a little laugh back because I take the night creatures as like the rabbits. They like the rabbit and the owl symbol. So I mean, look at the Playboy Bunny Mansion. Okay, I know that's not like porn stuff, but it's the same world. It's the same thing. It's the same aspect of the night
Dealing with
creature.
sin.
A rabbit. It's
I mean, in some
Chase the
countries, being naked is okay, but yeah, all that is affiliated. There's a lot of succubus and incubuses there, man, and other things. I got a story for you. So when I was raising my son by myself, living by myself, I met this woman. She was older than me, and I was always talking to her about God, about Love Foundation, and all that. And she said she wanted to do Bible study with me. So for about a whole week, I let her inside the house and everything, and we would read verses out of the Bible, and then she would leave and come back, and for a whole week we're doing this. Then on a Friday, we had already finished doing the Bible study, and she started like coming on to me and stuff, and one thing led to another, So as she's trying to seduce me, I guess you could say, she's like trying to kiss me on the arm and the chest, and she comes up to my ear. And she tells me, how does it feel letting your God down? Then I looked at her when she said that, and I said, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
Got up real fast and left. Took off out of the house. Never came back.
I got
So
chills from that.
She was infiltrating. She was licking my body like it was in a woman's tongue. She was looking at me like it was a demon. And she said to me, how does it feel to let your God down? And as soon as she said that, it's like I could see her face right here. I said, I tie, bind, and rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. So she was trying to tempt me, but I didn't follow through. And she got up and took off out of the house, and that was the last time I ever seen her.
Oh, how
I'm
good
thinking
would
it
it
was
feel
like
for that
like
demon to tempt
Yeah.
you through reading the Bible and have you? Wow. See, they'll attack no matter what, man.
yeah.
That's
So it's like I don't know whatever happened to that woman or anything like that. If somebody sent her, maybe she might have been a witch. I don't know, but they
yeah.
sent her
Was
on a
that premeditated, or was that something that just jumped inside of her at the moment?
I
That's
do
what's
not
kind of
know.
weird.
She never came back. When I tie, bind, and rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you, they do send their agents, man. They send agents. The devil will put people in your path, just like God will put people in your path.
Yeah, that happened to me like in 2000 and I think it was I'm trying to remember the date, like around 2000, and my son was small still, around 2007, 2008, somewhere around there when that happened.
I think that's probably around the time I had my first son. It was 2000. 5 or yeah.
And I think she said that she was from Kansas, so she was I guess a girl from Kansas.
like like the Wizard of Oz. Shit. Dun, 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 dun,
And you know what? I should have figured her out. I should have figured her out because I mean, when you grow spiritually, you grow by your experiences, right?
Mhm.
There was something about her that would always like, is her eyes. There was like a yellowish glare in her eyes that at that time I didn't know what it meant. I don't know. I know now the negative attachment was in her, looking at me through her eyes. Yeah, temptation comes in many ways, in many forms, man.
You really got to be careful what you do when you are watching or listening to anything. You got to guard your holes. You got to guard everything, man, and be careful what you put
Well,
into your body as far as
it's
like
probably
music or anything
what
you
happened to
watch.
me in Germany, man. I mean, I was only 19 when that happened to me. The one I think I shared last time, where I was at a bar. It was called B15s, and I was, it was a big bar, and there was the center of the bar, and then on the other side there was this beautiful woman. No, I was 19. She looked young, and I'm drinking, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go get the courage and go sit down by her and talk to her. So I went to go sit down by her, and I started talking to her. Hey, how you doing? My name is so and so, and we just started talking, and she said she was a gypsy,
Oh,
and then I asked her the question, where was real? Where was
you,
real? And she said, yes,
was she
they're.
Croat? Was she Croatian?
I'm not sure. All I know, she said she was a gypsy. So I asked her if werewolves were real, and she said they're spiritual real. That's what she said, spiritual real. They can summon the werewolves. That's what they said. She
Mm-hmm.
said. So uh, I'm talking to her, and she's got this perfume, the smell, real pretty smell. And I guess, the smell in some kind of way had something on it that the night finished. I was a little bit plastered, and I went outside with her, and she had her bike, and I asked her if I could walk her home. So I started walking her home, and we got to her house, and I was still halfway to make it to the billets, and it was kind of cold. She told me that if I want to, I could spend the night there. So it was like those apartments that has one room, and it's got the living room and the kitchen in the same spot. So I seen a couch there, and I want to go lay down on the couch. She went into the bedroom. And in Germany, the customs are different than the States, where she came to the doorway and she told me I could go lay down in her bed. And she's like literally butt naked, you know. And I'm like looking at her, and she got one hell of a body, like a model body. But I'm too drunk, because I drunk too much. I was only 19. I'm not used to the German beer and the German liquor. It's
Oh,
pretty strong.
the slogger.
So I kept my clothes on, man, and I lay down right beside her, and I'm there, and I fall asleep. Uh, when I wake up, I'm like this. I don't feel her beside me. Then when I look, I see like because I'm on the bed, so I'm seeing like probably from here up, and I'm looking like somebody's on the ground over there by the doorway, by the entrance. And I sit up on the bed, and I'm looking, and somebody's sitting native style at the entrance of the room, of the bedroom. I'm looking, and it's like, man, it doesn't look like the girl. And I'm looking at her. I'm not saying nothing, and I just hear like thump, 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 and I'm looking like, what the hell's going on? There's something hitting the floor is made out of wood, and I hear like a thump, thump. As I'm looking behind her on the right side is one of those mirrors that you can put on the wall to see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mirror is broken, and she's got a big old piece of glass with a pointy tip stabbing the ground. and I'm looking at her, and like white foam is coming out of her freaking mouth. Her eyes are rolled back white, and I'm like, what the? I'm like 19 years old. I'm like, what the fuck, you know? Excuse my French. And I'm looking, and as I get up, and I'm trying to go around her, and she's stabbing the ground. You can see the blood coming out of her hand, right? But it's not the girl. What it is, uh, what I witnessed is this old lady with white hair, and she's very, how should I say, very old. She
Baba
looks
Yaga.
like withered, wrinkled, real old lady.
Like a crone.
And I'm thinking, is that her grandmother? That's what I'm thinking. I said, what is her grandmother doing in here in the room naked? When the one that was naked was the girl. So I'm trying to figure out what is the grandmother doing naked in here. And I go look in the restroom. The girl is not there. So the only thing I'm seeing is this old naked lady in there. Like real old. I'm talking about in her 80s or possibly 90s. That's how old she is. Real old. So as I'm going around her, she stops moving. And I can see the glass, this far away. Like she freezes like that. It's like, oh shit. So I walk very fast to the door. The door has all kinds of freaking locks and chains, like 7, 8. And I'm looking like this and looking, make sure she don't turn around and runs at me with a freaking piece of glass. And I'm freaking unlocking, and open the door. Man, I didn't care who it is in the Olympics. Nobody would have beat me that night. I would have been faster than Usain Bolt. I was flying, bro. I was running down the.
So you
the
never
German
found out what happened? You never
Well,
seen that? You never seen that
I
girl?
ran. I ran, man. I ran out of there. I was flying. The billets was still a distance. Man, if they would have clocked me on the clock, I was moving. I was moving probably as faster than a DDN, man. I was flying.
Man, you
Man,
gotta be
I missed
careful in
the
other countries, man. We ain't
I
used
missed
to
the
stuff
front gate where the security is or the guards. I didn't even go through there. I jumped the wall, man. The wall is like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 foot high. I jumped over the wall and went to the billets.
Where was you at in Germany?
I was in this town named Erlangen, Germany, when this happened to me. So I didn't go out for about 2 weeks because I was like, what the hell just happened? I didn't know what was going on. When you don't got no answers, the only thing I knew was she was a gypsy, and then it's like, what's she trying to do? Set me up with a grandmother? The hell, But she was the only one that was naked there that night, which would mean to me that, well, that they might have, I don't know. All I know is I went back. We had the Strawberry Fest, and we were drinking all night. And my friend said, "Hey, we want to show you something." So they took me down some stairs, and they said, "You know where they have this fest, right? Strawberry Fest." I said, "No." So it's dealing with They said that it's dealing with a Strawberry Fest, which it comes out. She comes out every year. This fest is, and she always lures a young man, and when she lures a young man, she kills the young man, and she remains with her beauty. That's what they
shit,
told me.
man.
So when they
shit.
showed me the statue down the stairs, there was a statue right there. So look, here she is. There's a statue over right here. When I look at the statue, it was the same girl that I seen in the bar.
No way.
So I still got to look for that statue, man. I need to try to find it through Google Maps. So they're showing me this, and I was like, "You kidding me, right?" I said, "No, we're serious. You know what? We're not going to lie to you." And I was like, "I ran into her, and I told them what happened to me." They're like, "Oh shit!" I think what saved me is that I didn't fall to the temptation that she was trying to do
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't parry the mind because I was too tipsy. But she had the piece of glass. I guess she wanted to kill me, but she couldn't because there was no opening for her to try to attack me because I did not fall to the temptation of her beauty or the smell of the perfume. But she turned, I guess, to her true nature.
That
Where
sounds like some spider and fly scenario stuff. That sounds like Hansel and Gretel, like the or no. I don't know what it's called, but I know there is a witch out there, and they have a certain name, but they do something to retain their glamour or their beauty or something like that. And I thought usually it was through eating children, but that's crazy.
yeah, I was only 19 years old, man, when that happened to me.
So I don't know if that's if they call the witches out there Baba Yagas or if that's more like out towards Russia. I'm not sure. That's
Well, there
kind of
is
what that
Russian.
sounds
There
like.
is Russian people. It's kind of like where I was at. It's kind of like it was in New York because there's a mixture of different nationalities. There's people from Africa there. There was different. There's Russians. There's people from all over the world there. I was in Europe. So yeah, she was very beautiful, but
Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta.
I was flying down that road, man. It was cold too. I was, and I never ran so fast in my life. I mean, just imagine this. She was trying to control me because as I was running, I could see an image in my mind of her flying in the air, coming after me, like with her hands open, coming after me, like she was trying to, what I should say, it, call me back, psychically.
Hmm.
So I did the sign of the cross and I started saying the Our Father, and I kept on running and running. But I never seen her again. It was the only one
That's
time I
crazy.
seen her, and I never went back to that place where she lived.
So she lived up there. She wasn't just passing through, but she lived up there.
Yeah, she took me to her, I guess you could say her lair or to where her home is.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe
That's
she just,
that's
or maybe she was just mad because I didn't do nothing with her. But no, I think it was more
no.
of
That
that.
could have turned out really bad.
Yeah,
Like that's scary movie bad, and I mean, but it's real. The stuff happens. I mean, it almost sounds like a vampiric type
yeah. I think
deal, but it's
if something would have happened, that then she would have had some kind of. I didn't even kiss her, bro. I didn't do nothing like that. Kiss her, or but the only thing that I did was hold her hands when we were walking.
and
No, no,
they had
I
that
was a
fest. They
gentleman.
had that fest for the strawberry fest for
Yeah,
that specific wish. Hey,
for that witch.
that's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God, young days are so far behind us, man. I'm so
If something like
I'm
that would
so
happen me now, I wouldn't be able to run like that. Well, no, I think I still got it
I
in me.
wouldn't be in that position first off, and I wouldn't even have to run. I would just pull a weapon out and stand and fight.
I
But
mean,
first and foremost, I would probably try not to be in that situation. Thank God I'm not young anymore.
she looked like a model, man, like very beautiful. But all I'm telling you is this: uh, what seems like very beautiful might not be what it seems. And I
Oh
found out
yeah.
that the hard way.
Hmm. Especially when they're in a vampire coven and they think
Ooh,
they're a
I said
vampire.
I said that right now, and it felt like a needle got stuck in my knee. She mad because I'm talking about her.
I mean,
Man,
maybe
it felt like a needle got stuck in my kneecap.
that's
We
some
tried
spears.
finding her.
That's some fiery darts, man. The enemy is firing
We
them
tried
fiery
finding her
darts.
victory in the name of Jesus Christ. Hey, I'm just being truthful about it. But she, imagine
It's
that's
called
many years
reflection.
ago, and, and she's still alive, running around over there.
I mean, probably been alive for a long time. I mean, if she is a gypsy and she's into that kind of stuff, I mean, that's I wouldn't put it past. That's some old magic right there.
Yeah, it felt like somebody stuck a freaking needle in on my right kneecap.
Well, she might have one of those dolls or something, man. She'd be like, it's her little Sergeant Abe CS doll. Every time you bring the story up, and since you didn't do anything with her, she's kind of like a hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. She gets pissed off,
Man,
poke the
you,
doll.
I told my buddies that story, and they're like, "You didn't do nothing with her." I said, "Hell nah, didn't do nothing with her." I said, I was drunk. I said, "I'm glad I didn't do nothing with her. I probably wouldn't be here talking to you all about it."
Man,
They were like making fun of me and stuff. Like, oh shit.
do you know how many young drunk men have went to their doom following a beautiful woman into a scenario where no one's ever heard from them again? Probably quite a lot of people. If you go back in time, yeah, that's it's even worse when you get caught in an actual with a cult on accident.
And the spiritual opening that I had, that I had been drinking, that
Yeah.
was a spiritual opening that she was able to blend in. You know, she learned me, I guess, by looking at me from the other side of the bar because of the beauty. Went around, said, no, I didn't even know because I went up over there sitting beside her, actually, you know.
It's
I
like
guess
when
it
you
was
leave
liquid courage or something, you know.
that's pretty good. That's a good one. This is the first time I actually heard that story. I don't think I heard that on here yet.
Yeah, I was 19 years old. The name of the bar was called B15s. Yeah. After that, man, incident, it's like, hell no, I ain't trusting no woman over here.
Yeah.
Pinches brujas.
Stay away from bars, period. Bars, hospitals, and churches are the three main places you'll find the most demonic spirits.
The States is strange, but there's some strange activity in Germany, man.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
really gotta pay attention. If you pay attention to the movements of the people, how they act, it's like, man, something strange here. Like you can feel like something's up. But I was only 19. I'm in a foreign country. Then when I leave, they told me I have to go report at this other place because they were gonna give me the orders, and when I was gonna come back to the States, and I go to this place, and which is a different post. They're giving me orders, asking me questions, and I'm answering their questions. And then next thing you know, I see all this. I'm seeing all this photos of soldiers on the walls, like pictures
Oh
everywhere.
no.
So I'm seeing all these photos of the soldiers, and I say, hey, why are there so many pictures of soldiers up there? Do I get to put my picture on the wall? And they look at me. So, well, actually, all the soldiers here that you see on the wall, they're AWOL. I said, what do you mean AWOL? I said, they've never been found, but we consider them AWOL.
Oh crap.
And they said some of them been missing for years. So all the pictures that were on the wall were people that are missing. Soldiers that went to Germany or Europe and disappeared from the face of the earth. So yes, there's a lot of people that are missing in Europe that are still considered to be AWOL. They can say that they're dead, right? If there is no body. So I'm more sure till this day, there's a lot of people missing that never made it back to the States that are AWOL.
Has anybody ever heard of the movie Hostel?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was like, oh gosh. Yeah, I'm cool on traveling out of the country anywhere. For I've been out of the country before, but I've never been somewhere that unfamiliar.
Well, there's activity there, man, like that.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
there's activity. I remember they tried to take me. Uh, I was coming out of the bar. I was walking, and my instincts, man, they've been a keen all the time. I felt something wasn't right, and I see like this lights going real slow by like 3 cars behind me. So there's some bushes, and I jumped over the bushes, and I'm low to the ground, and I see the car go real fast and pull up, and I'm looking, and I see two guys in long coats with machine guns, and they're talking
Mm-mm.
in German, like they're looking for me, and they're there and they're talking to each other, but they don't see me. So they're looking, and then they get in the vehicle and they start driving away. And I got up and I ran back to the bar, and I told the soldiers, the other GIs, what happened. They all came out of the bar, but those soldiers were gone, or those people that
Dude,
were dressed in black, the black coats with the machine guns were gone.
they
I
like
think
take people to
they were trying
hunt
to.
people too, man. They'll take people to give to somebody who pays a lot of money just so they can hunt those people on wherever they're doing it at. I mean, they made movies about that stuff. That's all. That's scary, man. And they would pick people like military people and stuff. People who are in good top peak physical condition, who would give them a thrill to hunt. So that's man.
So
That's
after that, I told my first sergeant what happened, and he reported it higher, and they made a thing where soldiers couldn't go out by themselves; that they have to go up and go in groups of 4 and 6, and to stick together, like the buddy system.
right.
So from then on, it's like we'll go in groups of 4 and 6 or more together when we'll go out. We wouldn't go by ourselves.
Yeah, no doubt. That's. I mean, you guys are just pretty much targets for all kinds of activities that weirdos have up there and stuff, man.
Yeah. I hope everybody's enjoying the show.
I actually have to be getting off. I have to be going to bed. I
Alrighty,
gotta
brother.
get up. I gotta go to work early in the morning. I'm always pushing time. I'm only getting like 4 hours of sleep, but that's all I need. But
Alrighty, brother.
I just seen that it's 4 o'clock.
You need to get that rest, brother.
Yeah, sir. Um, Here too, I was gonna ask you, Abe. Um, Before I wanted to ask your permission, like whenever I had recorded with you or whatever on the first
Yeah,
podcast. Can I take some of that and use that for something on my channel?
yeah, man. You're more than welcome.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to ask before I did it first.
Yeah, you can do it, brother.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, and one more thing. I'll get a hold of you by messenger within the next 3 days if you're not busy. I wanted to talk to you about that stuff that I had to talk to you about. I just was
Okay.
waiting for the right time. So if you're not today, not tomorrow, but the next 3 days after tomorrow, if you're free any of those days, I'm free. So,
Alrighty, brother.
but I will jump off here and thank you for having me on.
No problem. You have yourself a good night, brother. God bless you.
God bless you.
Well, there you go, folks. Shadow Wolf is off. Calling it a night. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Is there any questions for me that anybody would like to ask? I hope everybody enjoyed this show. I wasn't planning to make a show, but I didn't do nothing tonight, so I told my wife I'm gonna do a show and surprise whoever's here. Surprise! I know it's like during the week it's kind of slow. Then I was having problems with the restream, and I don't know, something was happening yesterday. that it kept on putting out on my guest. Sometimes that happens when you bring the spiritual truth to things. They don't want the truth to be told, or for people to share their experiences. But in saying that, brothers and sisters, uh, right now it's a time that we really have to maintain our heavenly love foundation in relationship with Jesus Christ, because He's the one that protects us and He's the one that guides us. Uh, and there is spiritual warfare happening right now. That's part of the balance. Like right now, I'm talking to y'all, and I felt something heavy on my neck. So if there's anything trying to attach itself to me at this time, I type and rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. You're not allowed to affect me or any of my loved ones, as we place heavenly spiritual process on the doorways and the windows and all the family members from head to toe. We take authority over in Jesus Christ's name. And for whoever did the needle sensation, if anybody's doing any witchcraft or necromancy, we take authority over you, and we tie, bind, and rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ for whatever you're trying to do for it to remain with you, because we don't accept any form of negativity here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. This we pray in your heavenly name, Heavenly Father. Amen. In saying that, I just want to say thank you to those that tuned in tonight. I hope you all liked it. I liked the show. We talked about a lot of things. The only thing I can say is be spiritual ready at all time, brothers and sisters. Like my shirt says, "Rec on one," which means ready to go. In that way, spiritually, we got to be ready for anything, because anything can happen. You just got to be spiritual ready to be able to fight spiritually. Of course, through Jesus Christ is the key. Yeah. I think the bruja from Erlangen, Germany, got pissed off from the Strawberry Fest Witch, got mad because I said that she got rejected, that I didn't fall for the temptation. I think what happened is the beer hit me and the liquor hit me. So by the time I got there, I was like all out of it. But no, then I wasn't. I would always think, still do. Try to show respect to people, respect to women and stuff. But times have changed. That people think a whole different way. Which the way that they think, of course, we know one of them is they want to take Jesus Christ out of the equation. They don't want you to. They want you to think that the love that they talk about, the woke love, is the way to go, which that woke love is living in sin. So I say to you, live in the heavenly love foundation with Jesus Christ, because that's how you're supposed to be. It's through the heavenly love foundation, not the love of sin. But in saying that, I'm fixing to call it night, brothers and sisters. Thank you all. And if anybody's got any stories or anything that would like to share, you're more welcome to contact me through Messenger. In saying that, good night. God bless you, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed the military counters / everything we talked about. Good night, everybody, and God bless y'all. This is Brother Axias, Soron Cias, signing off from Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Peace out and good night.